Beyond the outer limits of human adventure, beyond the barrier of human credibility, fighting the unknown forces and secret terrors science couldn't predict.
There's a monstrous thing aboard this station from the moon. That's what killed Weber.
What kind of a monstrous thing?
Look this way, Doctor. You will understand. Here, Doctor. You are the first of your world to be looking at our solar system, the Astron. This is our planet, Astron Delta.
At the top.
Beyond the outer limits of human adventure, beyond the barrier of human credibility, fighting the unknown forces and secret terrors science couldn't predict.
There's a monstrous thing aboard this station from the moon. That's what killed Weber.
What kind of a monstrous thing?
Look this way, Doctor. You will understand. Here, Doctor. You are the first of your world to be looking at our solar system, the Astron. This is our planet, Astron Delta.
At the top.
Beyond the outer limits of human adventure, beyond the barrier of human credibility, fighting the unknown forces and secret terrors science couldn't predict.
There's a monstrous thing aboard this station from the moon. That's what killed Weber.
What kind of a monstrous thing?
Look this way, Doctor. You will understand. Here, Doctor. You are the first of your world to be looking at our solar system, the Astron. This is our planet, Astron Delta.
At the top.
Beyond the outer limits of human adventure, beyond the barrier of human credibility, fighting the unknown forces and secret terrors science couldn't predict.
There's a monstrous thing aboard this station. From the moon. That's what killed Weber.
What kind of a monstrous thing?
Look this way, Doctor. You will understand. Here, Doctor. You are the first of your world to be looking at our solar system, the Astron. This is our planet, Astron Delta.
At the top.
Here's what you all came to see. Archie giving himself a bath. He's covered in catnip as well. What is up, guys? How are y'all doing? How have you been? It has been a minute. Actually, it's been more than a minute. It's been a month. And a whole month. A whole last month. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I was halfway nervous that nobody would show up. I've been kind of nervous about streaming all day today. Oh yeah, Panda. Let me give you a good close-up of my shirt here. It is pretty cursed. Yeah, Archie's getting high in the background. Very, very cursed. I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, tell me what you all have been up to. It's been 4.5 weeks, I think, since we last streamed. Yeah, we kind of took a little bit of a break. Things were getting a little crazy, and we just needed to kind of distance ourselves from everything and kind of reevaluate, how we're doing things. But I have definitely been missing it. I have been missing the interaction with you guys. I've been missing, Well, mostly that. There's something to be said about the social interaction and the social itch that it scratches, and that's what you guys do for me, and hopefully we do something for you, other than just mindless entertainment. Archie, take it easy there. I'm licking his nuts back there. That's kidding. He doesn't have nuts. But yeah, so it's been a while, but I wanted to get back into it, and we've been kicking around the idea of kind of retooling our content, and so we're hoping that Sundays are going, once we get back into regular Sundays, that Sundays are going to be kind of an open format movie review kind of day. So we're mostly going to be chatting the whole time. We probably won't play any games on Sundays, but we're going to pick a movie, like a classic or retro horror movie of the week that we will talk about and review and maybe show some clips of. Maybe have a special cocktail that we've themed after. I don't know. We've been kicking around a lot of ideas. So getting back into the swing of things is kind of the hardest part. So that's what tonight is. Tonight is me wanting to get back into the swing of stream and kind of get used to it again. I feel like I was forgetting everything. I started setting up the stream like 2 hours ago just to make sure that I didn't forget anything going live. Because usually I normally forget stuff. Like I forget to do the question of the day, or I forget to, update the Twitch information or whatever. There's always something like that I always end up inevitably forgetting. So I wanted to make sure I had it all perfect. Your background looks different. It might be a little bit different. So we Archie or Moira, one of them, has had like torn down some of the posters from the conspiracy board. So that was kind of a pain in the butt. And the cats knocked down the TV. The whole shelf fell off of the wall, so I had to like remount that shelf. Hey, Wonderland, how you doing? We had to remount the shelf, and it was just chaotic. These cats are driving us crazy. And Archie kept peeing on that couch, and so like that was something that was very stressful. I'm trying something new.
Feed that cat.
Hey,
Feed
Izzy!
That cat. Feed that cat. Feed that cat.
Our first sub back. All right, well, yeah. Listen up, guys. We're gonna feed this cat. Listen for the crunch. Let's go. Come here. Let your sister get one. Let her get it. Eat it. You can eat it. Look. I don't know why she was being so nervous to eat that treat. She didn't trust it for some reason. So today's question of the day is a simple one. It's what have you been up to during our streaming hiatus? Did any of you get arrested? If so, we need the juicy details. Did you win the lottery? If so, I need some of that juicy money. I got married and we went on our honeymoon. OMG. That's right. You got married. You tied the knot. I need to know all about it. Please give us all the details. How was it? Where did you go on your honeymoon? I feel like that's almost the more important thing to decide when planning a wedding than the actual wedding itself is where are you going to go on your honeymoon? What are you going to do for your honeymoon? Izzy, again, thank you for that Prime sub, bud. I know you only get one of those, and I appreciate you for using it on us. Archie deadass looked at you when you said the cats are going crazy. I know he did. He knows he's got a guilty conscience. I've taken measures to counter his peeing, so you can't see right now, but you can kind of see it in the corner. The cushion covers are off because I washed them, but underneath his blanket, I layered some of those like doggy pee pads in hopes that that'll kind of help things a bit, at least for absorption, because that's always the biggest problem is cleaning that thing. Oh, it's such a pain. You need a scritch that cat sound too. I know, right? If I had won the lottery, I would be $1.4 billion. Which is that what the jackpot is? 1.4 billion? Holy crap! What would you? I mean, really, anything over 1 billion is just being greedy. Who needs that extra 0.4? That 400 million? Jeez, that's more money than you could even spend in a lifetime. You know what? I'm not going to say that because I have heard that statistically, a lot of people who win the lottery end up going bankrupt very shortly after. Like, and I think it's because if you have bad habits and bad lifestyle habits before you win the lottery, now you finally have all the money in the world to enable all of your bad habits, and you literally just burn your money away. Yeah, that would be a lot. That's a big total there, Panda. It was wonderful. The day was exactly like we hoped it would be. We went to Hawaii for a honeymoon. Ooh. Oh, I hope it wasn't during the fires, right? Because there were fires going on in Hawaii, like big ones. Congrats again, Mela, on your marriage.
That's a lot of nuts!
Those are the only sound effects I have queued on my board right now, so those are the closest marriage ones I could give you. Oh, man. I would set up a dynasty and just live off of interest only. Exactly. That's what you got to do. Invest it. Just spend, because even the interest alone on $1.4 billion, if you put it in an investment account, like a stock account or something, the interest and the dividends from that alone would be more than most people would ever be able to live off of. So yeah, you set your family and your lineage up for generations until you eventually have one great grandchild who blows it all on a Ponzi scheme or a timeshare or something. You still get 1 billion after taxes. Yeah, exactly, right. I mean, the government's going to take their cut, of course they are. But still, even 1 billion, like that's even if you said 500 million after taxes is what you end up with, that's still more than I could ever possibly spend. I would set up the joke being I have $32. Oh no, I got that joke. I got it. With $1.4 billion, we'd be millionaires. I mean, if I ever won the lottery, I told myself that I could live off of a $10,000 a month easy, so that would be my budget. 10K a month. Oh, absolutely. You could live very comfortably doing that, especially if you don't have to worry about, you know, your house or your food. Like those are some of the biggest expenses in people's lives, and not having to worry about that and just having that taken care of would be insane. Like if I didn't have to pay rent or pay any bills, I'd be such a wealthy man. No, just kidding. That is like the biggest thing. Just the cost of living in America is more than it should be. I feel like just to exist costs too much money. Well, if I didn't have a house payment or food, then I could live really happy off of like 5K a month. Yeah, absolutely. Like that would be ideal. All right. Did I miss anybody? If I forgot to read anybody's message, please let me know, because like I said, I feel so out of like sync with streaming. We had gotten to a point that it felt very natural to me, and I feel very nervous now. I feel super nervous. I feel like I'm missing something, you know, like I'm not doing something right, or I'm like screwing something up. So please, if I missed your comment because I got lost in the chat, let me know. Also, everybody's chat ID colors are very similar to me. Not because that's what you guys chose, but because I'm colorblind. And so sometimes I think I read someone's comment and I didn't. So that's just a thing. So, you know, bear with me. Molly is doing well, as you can clearly see. No, she's doing all right. She's been working more lately, and so that's kind of been keeping her busy. And I think, you know, when it came to streaming, it started to become something a little more stressful than we wanted it to be. And so I think that was part of the reason we decided to kind of step away for a while to reset what we were doing. So I think it was getting to a point for her where she wasn't really enjoying it as much. And so that became a real big focus, is when we first set out to stream 2 years ago. Wow, it's been 2 years. We wanted to make sure that it always stayed fun. And the moment it stopped being fun and it felt like a job, or it felt like something that we, you know, hated doing, or that we just had to do, that we've lost it. You know, at that point we've lost it. So it started to kind of feel like we were getting to that point. And I don't know exactly why, but maybe it's just, you know, there is a sense of guilt that you feel as a streamer, I think, when you start missing streams, and especially when you have like a regular kind of schedule, that you start to kind of feel guilty that you're letting people down because you're not giving them that consistent kind of content that they're paying for, or that, you know, they've supported. And so that was one of the reasons too, where I was like, you know what, maybe we should just announce we're taking some time off and then not have to worry about like being bound to it. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say we had like a mental crisis or anything, but it was just, we had to reevaluate things. And I do think that once we get back into the regular stuff and we start doing our horror movie review nights, it's going to feel much different, but still much of the same. Yeah, Kay, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You took a hiatus for a while and recently have come back and harder, more than ever. And so, yeah, it's kind of burnout is what you would call it. And but yeah, I do think I'm liking the idea of us doing kind of like a review show where we talk about horror movies and stuff, because that's, as you guys know, is a big passion of mine. It's something that Molly enjoys too, because, you know, when we were just playing games, if she's not into the game, then it's not going to be any fun, right? So it's something that we could both kind of just talk about and not feel obligated to feel like the game has to carry the content. Because I think some of the funnest streams that we've ever had, some of the greatest moments that I've enjoyed the most in this streaming journey have been when we've just done like parties, like you know, celebration parties where there's somebody's birthday, or like Archie's birthday, or we used to do like themed end of the month parties. Like those were the ones that I felt were the most engaging. I think for you guys, it was probably some of the best streams. I know that sometimes the games that we play aren't necessarily ones that click with you. So we're kind of making a statement to make streaming less about the game and more about just the interaction, and more about the fun and the silliness and just the jokes and the quotes and all the sexual innuendos that you have come to know and love at Spectervision. Also, I poured myself a drink. If anybody is having a drink with me, I'm drinking Jim Beam and Dr. Pepper. I don't know if you can hear that. Probably not. The ice clinking around. I understand that taking a break is a good idea when it feels like that. I've lost quite a few streams I loved because people pushed through feeling like it wasn't fun and just burned out. Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back too. I stopped streaming for exactly that reason. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Zach says ew to my drink. What the fuck, Zach? You gotta try it, dude. I think if you tried it, you'd like it. It's one of my favorites. Jim Beam, Dr. Pepper, man. It mixes so well because they're both kind of sweet. So it works. I'm so excited to see the horror movie review stuff. Yeah, so, you know, some of you guys have seen or see me go off on these tangents sometimes where I start talking about like the socio-political aspects of the Night of the Living Dead series. You know, and so you know I can get into like the ranty mode. But how great would it be if I'm doing that, Molly is enjoying it with me, and we're playing like clips from the movie and stuff, and actually like diving into a movie. So and that also might be some content that we start releasing on other platforms too. You know, maybe we dive into YouTube, doing more of that kind of stuff. I don't know. there's a lot kind of up in the air, but that idea sounds really fun to me because it seems like free-flowing format is something that I've really, really wanted to do. And I think Molly enjoys, but we didn't know how to get there. So, it's always like, okay, get into the game right away. As soon as we start streaming, get into the game. Just quit talking around, quit bullshit, and just get into the game. So now we just, we can go at our own pace and just do it. Maybe I've been inspired by some of the streamers that I watch, some of my favorite ones, because, for instance, like Syrup, like she'll sometimes stream for 2 hours before she's even started the game, and it'll say the game tag on her stream. But I think that's really cool, and honestly, for me, I think sometimes we lose viewership or people tune out whenever it's a game that they're not enjoying, or it's one that's like too much talking and too much story, so we have to just everybody shut up and listen to what they're saying. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's just my personal taste in streaming, but you don't like whiskey or Dr. Pepper. All right, we gotta get a mod to boot you out here. Just kidding. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a very basic drink. There's nothing special to it. If you want it a little bit sweeter, put a little splash of grenadine, and it's like a cherry Dr. Pepper. It's really good. I like it because, one, it's got a little bit of caffeine, so that'll keep me up tonight, and we'll stream for longer. But also, it's something I can sip on, and it's not going to get me too drunk right away. You don't have to play a game to have a fun time. Yeah, exactly. I listen to loads of just talking streams. Prune soda? No thanks. I'll stick to my Metamushi. Ooh, I don't know what that is. Metamushi. But yeah, that being said, I did want to play some game tonight. I figured in honor of Halloween month, which is all month long. I don't know about you guys, how you celebrate Halloween, or if you don't celebrate Halloween, whatever. It's an all month thing. So I figure any games that I play this month are going to be spooky games. And I don't want to play games that are like modern horror games where we have to concentrate a lot. We're gonna take it back to the past and play some shitty games that suck ass. Just kidding. No, we're gonna play some classic horror games. And tonight, I figure I would start off with a. Oh, by the way, I had posted a hint image in the Discord and on Twitter. I mean, on X. Did anybody guess what game I'm gonna be playing tonight? I figured I'd put it out there to see if anybody could guess it. It's a little obscure. Metamushi is a fiber drink. Oh, Metamucil. Okay. I don't know why I read it Metamushi like it was eyes. To keep the elderly regular. Oh, well, if it's helping you while you're sick, then yeah, go for it. Do it. In Hawaii, we went to a whiskey and Hawaiian chocolate pairing at the chocolate shop, and it was divine. Hey, Ricky, how you doing? Oh, you know what? Before we get into it, let me do some shout-outs real quick. We got some streamer buds in the house. Did that not play? Oh, I don't have shout-outs on the screen. That would explain it. All right, let me do it again.
No, don't tell me to run, Luna. Do not tell me to run. Oh, there's the exit door.
Oh, you're playing Phasmophobia.
Hey, thank you, Marcus. How you doing, buddy? I hear things running behind.
Oh, it's Mannequin. Oh, okay.
This is a dead end. No.
It looks kind of like backroomsy. So, Molly and I tried playing Phasmophobia once on stream. It was once, only once that we ever played that game, and it did not go well. I was very confused by the mechanics of that game. I'm like, what the fuck are we supposed to be doing? Like, I don't get what it is. But I also think a problem with that game is it's supposed to detect your mic, right? So you're talking to the ghost saying like, show me this or do this or whatever. And a problem is that Molly and I both have our mics routed through my computer, as one audio source. So my computer thinks it's one mic. And the reason I do that is because when we play games online with other people, we don't have each other separately on Discord, so there's less chance of an audio loop feedback. So that was part of it too, and I think that kind of screwed up the actual mechanics of the game by having two people talking into the mic, also reading chat, and I think we were screwing it up. Oh, she's cute. Is she single or? Oh, I don't know. She's not single, but I might share. It might be hot. Might be hot. A girl's got to recognize cute, Oh yeah, of course. Oh, were you talking about Kay? Sorry, I thought you were talking about Molly. Yes, if you're not following Kay, please give Kay Cavalier a follow. Do I got any other streamers in the house? Any other streamers in the house? Streamers in the house, say hey. Probably would be disgusting, to be honest. Luckily, it was pieces of chocolate. Really changed the flavors of the whiskey. Chocolate whiskey. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds kind of weird, but I don't know. I've gone to like a bar that they had like mixologists where they're doing all these crazy crafting stuff with ingredients I've never even heard of in my life, and had some of the best drinks I've ever had. So you never know. You never know what you're gonna get. You just got back from art club, Ricky. Ooh, how was that? Art club. You got to post some of your art in the art gallery on our Discord. You know what? Kay, Molly, anyone? Okay. Molly looks bone dry though. She may need some water. Okay, here we go. Well, whenever you need it, hun, it's right there for you. Okay. Yes. So, like I said, I'm going to be playing a throwback game today. It's an arcade game from the 1980s. It was very heavily inspired.
Feed that cat.
Hey,
Feed that
Ghost.
Cat. Feed that cat. Feed that cat.
On the phone with Nate, so I can't hear you, but I'm so happy you're back. Yeah, she's thirsty. All right, well, before we get into that, then let me feed this cat and listen up for the crunch cam, guys. Let's go. Spam those best emotes you got. Who wants a treat? Nope, that's Moira's. He is relentless. He does not let her get her own treat. He has to come take it. Come here. This is for her. This is for her. Thank you so much, Ghost, for that sub. Yeah, now we got a mod in the house, so y'all better watch out. You're gonna get the boot. You're gonna get banned. Yes, we have missed all of you guys. I feel like, I don't know, it feels much longer than it's actually been, because it's only been, like I said, a month. But it feels like so much longer. Mela, where does the time go? 9 months? Oh my gosh. Well, we won't count the last month because we weren't around for that, but you know what I mean. It's in Archie's bellies now. All right, let's go give him another treat. Listen up. I hope you guys can hear the crunch. Yes, good crunch. Oh gosh. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yes. So this is a game that came out in the 1980s, very heavily 1988 to be exact. It's very heavily inspired by the Friday the 13th series. It is about a guy and a girl who go seek refuge in a mansion that turns out to be haunted, where lights go out, he gets knocked out, and when he wakes up, there is a strange mask covering his face, and that mask imbues him with strength and power that he uses to rescue his girlfriend, who is trapped deep within the depths of the mansion. This is a game called Splatterhouse, and it was released on home consoles for the TurboGrafx 16, a very little-known console that kind of came out shortly after the NES, and I think in a lot of ways was better than the NES. But yeah, so not a lot of people had it. It didn't get a really big American release. Oh shoot, I already had the game open. Let me just die really quick so I can start it fresh from the beginning. I wonder if I can actually just restart the game. I'm having to play it on an emulator because I don't have it I don't have the physical arcade. But you know, you do what you gotta do. But yeah, so this was a really great game, and I actually played a lot of the home version. My uncle, for some reason, had a TurboGrafx 16 gaming system, and what was really cool about that system is the games came on what looked like little credit cards. They were like little credit cards with like a microchip in it, and you would slide it into the console like that. That was like the cartridge. It was super cool idea. All right. Let me get over to the game screen. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, for the NES. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that game? Ugh, that game is notoriously bad. He's wearing a Jason mask, is he? Yes, in fact, in the arcade version, they actually got like a cease and desist, I think, because the character looked so much like Jason Voorhees that when they released it on home consoles, they changed the mask to be purple instead of white, so it looked less like a hockey mask. You remember this in the arcade game? Yes, okay. My favorite barcade was a Splatterhouse machine. All right. Y'all ready for this? So we're going to start from the beginning. Also, let me know if the sound is okay, too. Man, it's time to go back to the barcade, right? So this game is highly regarded amongst the horror game historians as being one of like the most gruesome games for its time. It features a lot of really graphic scenes. Like, as we see here, there's like people stuck in a dungeon, and then like I literally have a machete, and I'm just lopping the ghouls' heads off. It's pretty cool. They have it here in the city I live in. They also have the Halloween pinball machine and the Universal Studios Monster. Oh man, pinball machines are awesome. Like, I feel like if I ever got into collecting arcade cabinets or whatnot, I would really want to do pinball machines because they're just so cool. But I can imagine keeping those maintained is probably really, really difficult. There's just so many moving parts and like electric kind of things in it that to have one that functions well is probably very rare. And this is where the game gets the name Splatterhouse, because when you hit them with a 2x4, they splatter against the back wall. It's great. Okay, so far it sounds great. Okay. We know a guy in town who does lots of pinball machines. We marched to tuba with his kids in college. Oh, awesome. We opted for the Attack from Mars video game. So yeah, like I said, I used to play, and I was a kid. I was maybe like 7 or 8 when I was playing this game, the home version, on my uncle's console. And I remember the day came when I was like a teenager, when he had eventually given the console to my cousin, and he and I stayed up all night one time. We're like, you know what? We're gonna master this fucking game, and we beat it. And we were so like enjoyed and like proud of ourselves that we called him up at like 2 a.m. and we're like, hey, we just beat Splatterhouse. And he's like, yeah, that's great. He was not amused. But we were so stoked because like that was like the crowning achievement of our adolescence, was finally beating Splatterhouse. Because this is a tough game. And you guys are going to see how tough it gets. It gets hard very fast. Uncle, please roll out the carpet. Yes, right? We were so stoked on ourselves. He couldn't care less. He's like, oh yeah, that game? But maybe he was just doing that because he never beat it himself. So like, he wanted to diminish our achievement. What are you drinking tonight? So tonight I'm drinking Jim Beam Bourbon and Dr. Pepper, which Zach said was really gross, but I don't... I now seriously have to bring Zach's taste into question. And what's really awesome is the arcade version is not much different than the TurboGrafx version. This is pretty much like one for one. Now, of course, there's a slight, graphical downgrade, and like the backgrounds aren't as detailed and stuff, but like the level layouts, the enemy layouts are exactly the same. So I still have it memorized in my brain. Sounds like something Mitch would love on a rare night. Yeah, I've actually gotten him to drink it before because he does like Dr. Pepper. So it's just a hard Dr. Pepper. He's dating me. I'm bringing Zach's taste into question. Well, no, if he's dating you, he's at least doing something right. He's not completely crazy. But yeah, I mean, you can see how in this game, the copyright holders of Friday the 13th would take objection to it because it's literally a hockey mask. Although, like, the official story of the game is it's like some ancient mask of power that, like, sought out... This character's name is Rick, that seeks out Rick to help break the curse of the house. And in the TurboGrafx version, it doesn't have, like, dots in it. It's purple, but it has, like, squiggly marks in it, like kind of like Sting, the wrestler, if anybody gets that reference. But yeah, I've also like memorized all the like safe spots in the boss fights too. At least in the first few levels, because you end up playing the first few levels a lot because of how difficult it is. Give me a second. I'll pause it after I beat this level so I can catch up on chat. Nate just got home. All right, tell him I said what's up. And yes, I am punching knives. I don't know how you guys do your knives, but I punch them. This is the hardest part, is the painting, because it picks up speed whenever you hit it. Shit. Ugh. I feel like my controller's a little unresponsive. I'm gonna blame the controller. Random question, do y'all know any banned books? You know what? With all the legislation that's coming out nowadays, like, there's so many books that are probably banned that shouldn't be. I feel like just name any book, it's probably been banned at some point or another. Rick looks like half Jason and half Michael Myers. Yeah, he's kind of wearing the boiler suit that Michael Myers wears, except it's like ripped because he's ripped. Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of a delay in my controller. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe it's just because the room is shaking. I'm getting disoriented. Complete works of the Beatles? That was a banned book? What the heck were they talking about that was so controversial? Although I guess it was a different time back then, so like any kind of thing was that the youth found popular was considered offensive. Yeah, nailed it. Pro tip here, don't stand in the middle of the room at the end of it, because that will kill you if you're on your last life and you have to play that level all over again. I'm asking because I hate your next essay. Oh no, bummer. Ask ChatGPT to write you an essay. All right, this level gets pretty tough. Not banned, but banned. Oh, okay. Oh, you were making a terrible joke. Sorry, it went over my head. The boss of this level is really tough, but I kind of know a way to cheese it, and it's all about preserving your shotgun ammunition. Hence the low kicks. Oh yeah, the weird little slug monsters. This part is pretty tough. If you get caught on those little lights, they drag you into a level, like a little dungeon, and it's really hard down there. So you want to stay above ground if you can. Okay, so the trick is you can carry your weapons by just quick swapping them out like this. And then you get the other shotgun up here, and you use them both for the boss. Now, it's tricky because he jumps. That makes him really hard to kill. And I've already taken some hits, so this might be tough. If I lose to him, then I have to start at the checkpoint, and I only get one shotgun to kill him with. Alright, so here he is right here. Yeah, bitch! That's how we do things in my town. Yeah, stage 4, baby! I am blowing through this game. This is great. Don't worry, it gets much harder. I'm gonna write about the book The Giver. Oh, I remember that. I remember reading that book in like 7th grade. That was cheesier than Velveeta. Yeah, a little bit. But listen, having to fight him hand to hand is almost impossible because the reach of his chainsaw arms makes him so hard to get close to. That's why he never found love. Damn it, stupid slug. Yeah, it was a little cheesy, but you know what? This game was definitely meant to eat a lot of quarters, so... I like that it's like a platformer game, but like not really a platformer game. It really is unique. For just think of this, 1988. What other games looked like this in the arcade? I can imagine this really standing out. And maybe because of its kind of content that it probably didn't get put in a lot of arcades. So maybe it was only in like bars. Okay, this part gets tricky. Because I only have 3 lives here, or 3 hearts. I have to fight my doppelgangers. So it's 4, and then it's 6. 5. Oh, no, that's 5. Damn it. Ugh. And you have to look at yourself in the mirror. It's part of it. Next one's 4, I think. Nope. 5. Fuck. Yeah, if you know the mirror that they're gonna pop out of, you can squeeze off 2 quick hits before they can get a hit on you. So really, it's just a battle of attrition here, where you're just hoping that you have more health than they can take from you, because you're gonna take hits no matter what. The bosses these bosses are kind of cheesy. Like their animations hit you, but yours don't hit them for some reason, and they have a longer reach, I think. Let's see. Here we go. All right, cool. We're good. We're good then. Because you only have to fight 3 of them, and I've got 3 more hearts left. But the next boss is what's really hard. But I have 1 more life, so that's okay. Crushed it. Man, this game really like brings back memories for me. I like I said, playing it on the TurboGrafx 16. And this level actually got heavily censored in the conversion to the home consoles. As you can see, there's an upside down cross, and I am in a church. So that is something that they changed to just like I think it's like a random just orb, or maybe it's just another face, like a glowing face in the middle of it. But like all the religious overtones kind of got toned down in the home console release. Damn it. Stupid heads. Got him. You love that book. Okay. You're back. How you doing, Ghost? We have saved the chapel. Yeah, so you can see like a crucifix in the corner. All of that stuff was taken away. It's still kind of implied that it's a church in the home console, but it's like less overtly a church. And that is the girlfriend screaming. Nate came home, so I had to gloat about my poppy seed bread and quiche that I made today. Ooh, poppy seeds. The Splatterhouse 2 game came out on the Sega, and I for sure have that cartridge still. I never played that one. I played Splatterhouse 3, but the third one is like kind of a departure from this formula. It's more of like a traditional beat 'em up in the sense, like in the vein of like Streets of Rage. But I think the second one is very similar in gameplay wise to this one, right? But yeah, I never had a chance to play that one. Maybe I'll look for an emulator for it.
Feed
Nate!
that cat! Feed that cat!
Thank you for
Feed
subbing,
that
bud.
cat!
How are you doing? 2 freaking years, sub nerds. Oh yeah, we need to roll out those new sub icons for sub badges for 2 years. All right, listen up, guys. Let's feed these cats. Moira heard the chant. She came running from the other room. All right, listen up. Let's see those dancing emotes. Come up here. Listen, you gotta meet me halfway, girl. She's so polite and dainty. Thank you so much, Nate, for that sub. Yeah, it's been 2 whole ass years. Whole ass years. You classy son of a bitch. You still have that macro set up. You made it macro? Great. You know, I should do that for whenever we raid people. Is to like do a copy and paste message so that people can like copy and paste it into the raider, the streamer that we raid. I always forget to do that. All right, back to it. Oh yeah, this part can be tricky too. Thing is, I'm only 1 hit away from death, which makes it a little difficult. And I think one of the hands in this scene gives you the finger, like flips you off. And I think they censored that in the home release. I feel like those monsters are harder in the home release. Like their jumping is a little less predictable. Oh, there it went. I saw the finger. Yeah, you saw it? Okay. I know I didn't just dream that. Yeah, skip the first ladder. The first ladder takes you to a harder part. Although this part's really fucking hard too. This is the part with the little ghosties. And if you fall down those holes, then you have to like fight like a sub boss. Damn it! Oh, right there at the very end. Ah. You can never trust a serene-looking face in the older games. I know, right? It's always gonna. We should do a death counter. How many times have I died so far? I actually don't think that many. Oh, actually, I've died twice. I have not continued yet, so 2 deaths. Damn it! Fucking skulls. I'm doing much worse on this second playthrough than I was on my first one. Oof. Yeah, because I think you start off with 3 lives, so yeah, I have died 3 times, or 4 times. I forget. We'll see how many we... When I die and it like asks me to continue, we'll see how many lives I start off with. That'll let us know how many times I've died so far. The thing about the paintings is you never know when they're actually gonna drop down on you. No, fuck! Ooh, I didn't want to go down that ladder. Fuck. This one's fucking hard. This is where you fight the witch. And the witch, like, resurrects the zombies. Ah. Last level of his hands is when his face is. Yeah, at 1 level we fight sperm. I've never understood what it says. Like, I'm the ghoul, ha, is what it sounds like it's saying. Fuck. Normally I'm against ghost punching, but I'm rooting here for you, buddy. Oh, the music is great in this game. Once in the mirror room, once in the flying room. Okay, well, we're going to find out for sure. So I have died. And of course, we got to put our initials. Okay, so I start with 2 hockey masks. Each of those is a life. And then there's a life 0. So 3. I have died 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Yes, so 4 times now. Yes, you were right, Panda. You were correct. My God-given initials, yes. And the thing is, like, whenever you get a game over, you have to start back at the beginning of the chapter. And each chapter is like 3 levels. So it does get tricky in the later levels because you can get pretty far and then have to, like, kind of restart your whole progress. That gets very frustrating very quickly. The purple spikes pushing you is scary. Yeah, I think it's actually like some kind of like ghost cloud. And that is not in the home version of the game. In the home version of the game, you can take all the sweet time you want. But I can see why they would do that for the arcade version, so that people don't just like take their time. They want to like, fuck. They want to get you in and out so that they can get the next person's money. Oh, not doing well. Fart cloud, exactly. Miasma. There you go. Here we go. This is one of those games that whenever you do like a hard jump like that, you have to clench your butt cheeks to make sure that you get it right. What are some of your favorite butt cheek clencher games? Oh, it's not a middle finger. It's a finger beckoning you. Oh, it's saying like, come here. Come here, you. The trick for those ones is to kill them before they drop the skull on you. Fuck. Oof. I'm starting to feel it now. I'm starting to get a little frustrated. You know, that's the thing about these classic games is they really do They are challenging in a very different kind of way than modern games are. The simplicity of the gameplay is really one of those like easy to learn, difficult to master kind of things. It is definitely, oh, fuck. It's a trait of a bygone era. Ugh. The water levels without a weapon is really tough because these guys have a longer punching reach than you do. Oh boy, clencher. Been getting into DBD lately with friends, and it's always harrowing hiding from the killer in a bush. Dead by Daylight, man. I have not played that. The last time we played that was, or I played that with you, was like right after the Oreo release, where they added the Sudoku from The Ring. That was like the last time I played it. That was the last new character. Silent Hill 3 and DBD fuck you up. Silent Hill 3 was... I never played that one. I played 1, I played 2, and I played 4, The Room. I actually really liked The Room. That one was cool. But I never got to play 3, and I heard it was good. I actually heard it was one of the better ones. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, those guys are tough. Because they have such long reach. Samara from The Ring, or... is her name actually Sudoku? I was joking. Her name is like Sudoko, right? Sadoko, yeah. Yeah, see if you can understand what he's saying when he calls... when he, like, raises the dead there. I'm a goober. Ha, yeah, that's what it sounds like, right? That's not fair. He's like right off screen and I can't fucking hit him. Ugh. Oh boy, that one was rough. How many deaths are we at? Okay, before I start this next one, I'm gonna pour myself a little drink. I'll be right back. You guys get to look at Archie while I'm gone. Yanni or Laurel? So I got to ask a question, guys. And this might be something that we put up for a poll. Oh, Nate already wins the bingo? Rigged. That we put up to the poll is, do you remember the dress? The dress that people debated on what the color was, whether it was white and gold or black and blue? What color did you think it was? And why were you wrong? Kitty Kev, I missed this. Yeah, we definitely missed you too. I don't know if anybody's playing bingo tonight, but for those who are, I got you. Oh yeah, as a reminder, everybody has a bingo card. You can see it on the extension overlay on the screen, which if you're watching on PC should be right over here on the side of the screen. Over here. Like, let me see if I can touch it. It's probably like right there. And you've got a bingo card as the events happen on the stream. One of our mods will call them out, check them off on your bingo card, and winner wins. I don't know, maybe we'll have a prize again someday. Right now, it's just bragging rights. The white and gold dress. Yes, I know that one. I saw white and gold too. No, Nathan, the blue one. Listen, it was white and gold. We all know it was white and gold. Everybody can shut up about it. I think they actually, like, it got so big that there was like a TV show.
Feed that
Mela!
cat. Feed that cat. Feed that cat.
Oh, two subs going to K Cavalier and Nerd Titan. Two awesome folks. Also, both streamers. And you know what? Since they are streamers, can we give them a shout out? You want to whip up a quick shout out for them, pretty please? Since Mela, I know you don't stream. But if we can do a shout out for K Cavalier and Nerd Titan, that would be great.
I'm coming, David. Even if you're not sexy,
Here's some
you're still
DBD.
good looking. Oh yeah, she's a sneaky snake. Yes, I am. Sneaky, sneaky, super sneak, super sneaky. Yeah. Hey, no problem, Mr. David. You a cutie patootie.
Oh, this is a recent clip. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Because it's the Alien update of Dead by Daylight.
Feed that cat.
I don't even know where that came from though. Like, there's some things that I'm just like really like it comes off. Like, I guess I get in my zone, in my groove, and I still have fucking taste of dab in my mouth. Oh. But yeah, so 4 pillars. I may just do this. And
Yeah, the actual dress was black and blue, but the conditions of the photo make it messed up depending on the angle you view your screen at. Yeah, well, so what I was saying before I feed these cats, I'm not forgetting. There was like a news show or something, or some like news program or in whatever. They contacted the woman who owned the dress, and they're like, "We need to see the dress. What is the actual color of the dress?" And it turns out it was black and blue. And I even saw like a website that was selling that dress, and I saw somebody during Halloween that year wearing that dress. Nobody else got it. I'm like, oh shit, it's the dress. But if you don't know that meme or you're not like really following it, you just think it's a girl wearing a black and blue dress. You're like, okay, well, this girl didn't dress up, you know? All right, let's feed these cats. Listen up for the crunch. Remember when you used to cry out whenever I'd open this? Say treat, please. Aren't you so lazy? He won't turn around for it. Come here, dude. Come here, you gotta come get it. No, she's gonna eat all your treats. How many subs was that? 3? Alright, here's another one. Thank you so much for those subs, guys. The cats definitely say thank you. All right, let me catch up with the chat here. Mela, you son of a bitch. Oh, what is that about? Ghost, I'm gonna cry. No crying, only joy here. Exactly. It's your 151st of those, you Ghosty. It's like the original Pokemon. Call me Mewtwo or whatever. Yeah, Mewtwo was 151, right? That was the... Oh, no, Mew was the 151. Mewtwo was 150. So carefree and young before those other 6 lifetimes have happened since. Remember 2015? Yeah, exactly. When we were so little and had so little to worry about. You know, and that's so true. Like, I feel like the year 2020 is like a fever dream now. You know what I mean? You heard the purring? Let me see if you can still hear him. Oh, hey, Nerd Titan, how you doing, bud? Yes, he is a very handsome boy. Nerd Titan too. Yeah, that gift sub was from aptly named Ghost, or was it from Mela? It was from Mela, from Mellerin. Y'all, if you're not following Nerd Titan, please give him a follow. There's a lot of great streamer on streamer content. Streams for streamers, which is really cool because that's something that I think a lot of people need to talk about more. I feel like when you become a new streamer, there's very little resources for you on, how to get started, how to make connections, what are things I should try, that kind of stuff. Of course, you're going to get bombarded with all the snake oil salesmen like, hey, I'm so-and-so in some random country. Kindly send me $50 US and I will promote your stream. Like, come on, get out of here with that. Or the graphic designers that are constantly in my DMs. Hey, do you need sub emotes or a gaming logo? And it's like, guys, first off, those logos are trash. They're all the same dime a dozen Fiverr account, randomly generated logos and whatnot. But secondly, Molly makes all her stuff. She designed, right? Yeah, I actually taught myself how to use Adobe Illustrator so that I can make all of our sub emotes and all of our emotes and our sub badges and all that kind of stuff and all of our t-shirts. Yeah. She really put in a lot of work on that and taught herself how to use Illustrator from scratch, which was really cool. Some people get turned off by cat tongues, but man, paw licks are the best. Who gets turned off by cat tongues? It was Mela. Sorry, I was lurking. I'm not handsome. People only love me because of my beard. Samesies. I shaved my beard during COVID lockdown, and I instantly regretted it. Oh, I felt like I looked like an old fat baby. Is what I felt like. I looked like an old fat baby. I hated it. There's something to be said about how and I don't even have like a big beard. My beard's very subtle and I trim it pretty regularly, but it really does shape your face. Molly does a great job. Not going to lie. Yep. Design Champ Skeleton. Speaking of which, all of our awesome Molly designs are available in the merch store, including the Paws of the Dead, the Spectervision VHS, Spectervision the Glass, Paws of the Dead poster. I should use a different image instead of just recycling that one twice. I'll remake that at some point. Okay. Where was I? I will be back next week with new stuff, and I love it when graphic designers message me since I have been graphic designing for 20 years and run a company doing it for small businesses now. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm sure you probably screw with them in your DMs all the time. T-shirts? Did someone say merch? Exactly. Seconded Panda. Molly does a great job. Yes. So today's question of the day, if you have not seen it yet, is what have you been up to during our streaming hiatus? It has been 4.5 weeks since we last hit the go live button, and I am so glad to be back. This is fun. I really, really missed this. I was actually talking to my therapist about this the other day about how not streaming, not only does it like, I'm a creature of not habit, but of I don't know what the word is here, but like I like having a schedule. I like being able to have reliability in my days and having something to look forward to every day, every other day or whatever helps keep me regular. And streaming is a way for me to socialize with people on my own terms. So I'm kind of introverted, which you probably wouldn't tell just by like talking to me. But I get very socially anxious sometimes. And streaming is a way where I can communicate with people and they can communicate with me and it's on my terms and I'm able to like absorb it in a way that works for me. And there's something really to be said. And I told this to my therapist, that the people that we have met, i.e. you guys, through streaming has been like the biggest support system for me than I've ever had. I don't really get a lot of support from like family and stuff like that. So it's something for me that really is dependable support for my interests, and that's something that I really, really value is you guys. You guys are the reason that I do this. Okay, sorry, I didn't want to start getting all emotional and shit. Okay, what did I miss? I could definitely throw in those sick hats now. Oh yeah, that's right, we got new hats. You have that pint glass. I drank a Guinness Bombs from it last night. Guinness Bombs, all right.
Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Feed that cat!
Nate, holy shit. Dude. Oh boy, Nate gifting 10 subs. Jesus Christ. Okay, we got one going to Bad Taste Aficionado, to Pad Washer, to Scarlux, to the GCU, Lego HQ, Wonderless Wonderland, Daniel35421, Molly of Mars, Digital D420, and Panda Pants Party. Y'all getting subs courtesy of Nate Lefevre. He is whining and dining all of y'all in the chat, so please show some love to Nate. Let's feed these cats. Listen up for the crunch. Come here. Okay, I'm not going to really give them 10 because then they'll explode, but I'll give them a couple. Dude, you're so fucking lazy. Come here. Moira. Moira. She's down on the ground. What do you think? Come here. Get another one. Come get one. And one more for Archie. Oh, that was the best crunch. One of these days, I'm gonna have to like do like a mega cut of all of the best crunches that we've had on the Crunch Cam. Okay, so let me catch up on this chat. Thank you again, Nate, so much for that. You, buddy, do not need to be doing that. We appreciate you so much. Self-care breaks are so important. Absolutely. I definitely do screw with them. It's fun. So yeah, whenever I get hit up by the graphic designers in my DMs, sometimes I'll just like totally troll them. Like they'll be like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "I have a girlfriend, leave me alone." "Oh no, that's not what I'm trying to say." I'm like, I have a girlfriend, leave me alone. And so I just like keep telling them that, and then they get really mad and upset, but they're just trying to close that sale or that scam or whatever. So they just keep coming back incessantly. And I'm like, fuck off. I have a girlfriend. And I don't know. I like fucking with them. It's funny. You gotta have those regular poops. Question of the day. You have been doing college, studying, and getting therapy, having anxiety attacks. Shit, I'm so sorry for your anxiety attacks, Ricky. I hope that your therapy is helping with that. Y'all, I have been doing therapy for a couple of months now, and it has really changed things for me. In fact, I have an appointment tomorrow. I think just on a personal level, mental health is something that everybody struggles with, whether they want to admit it or not, or whether they realize they are struggling with it or not. Things that we just take for granted as being just, oh, I'm just having a bad day. There could be something behind that. And talking to a therapist is a great way to help you compartmentalize and rationalize and kind of see the things that you're doing, the behaviors that you're doing, to compensate for your mental health that may not be healthy for you. And it's something that it's especially like my last session, I had a moment, like an aha moment, where, you know, she had told me something that I had never in my entire life thought of that perspective or that possibility. And it broke me down. I was like, holy shit, I never thought of it that way before. And so while they can be emotional sessions, ultimately they are very healing afterwards. So if you have been on the fence about whether or not you should seek out a therapist or psychiatrist, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Don't expect it to change everything right away or expect, all the answers you're looking for. But sometimes just having that person to talk to makes all the difference. All right, back to the game. Where were we? I've died how many times? Who's keeping count? We are playing Splatterhouse for those that have just joined in. It is a classic 1988 platforming arcade game set in the spooky mansion where you play a guy wearing a hockey mask that totally isn't Jason Voorhees for all copyright purposes, but in all reality is absolutely Jason Voorhees. And you can do this wicked cool slide if you do it right. Agreed, man. And it's heartening to hear you talk about it. A little bit of a wake-up call. Haven't been to therapy in a long time, but it really is past time to do so. Also, is your therapist accepting new patients? I'm kidding, but I'm also not kidding. I will ask her. I have an appointment tomorrow. The only thing about her is she strictly does telehealth, and telehealth without a camera. So she normally would just do it over the phone, but I was like, can we just jump on Microsoft Teams or something? Because I feel like this is weird just talking over the phone. So I have my whole stream set up behind me when I when I have my sessions with her, but I never see her. So she sees me, I don't see her. So she can see. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of an important part of therapy, right? Is seeing emotional reactions when someone's talking about stuff. So I feel like I would be doing her a disservice if she can't see me. But I will ask her tomorrow. And maybe that's just her preference. Yeah, it might be 9 now. It's been a lot of death. So I've continued twice. So that's 8. Yeah, plus 1, 9. Yeah, it's been 9. And it doesn't help that I've been drinking, so my timing is a little bit off. I'm also playing with this super cheap, $10 Amazon.com controller that, if any of you guys were watching when I was playing the Dark Pictures anthology game, the last one, what was it, the house, the murder house? I feel like this controller is what robbed me on a couple of deaths, and I was like, fuck this game, I'm not playing it anymore. I was fucking robbed. I pushed the button. I even went back and reviewed the tape. I pushed the button on time, and the character still died. So I'm blaming it on the controller. But what's a good controller to buy? I also don't want to spend a lot of money on the controller. This one was $10 on Amazon, so I was like, even if it sucks, at least it was cheap. Fuck, I'm right there by the end. The Mad Catz controller. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Mad Catz controllers, I don't know how many of y'all had little brothers or little siblings growing up, but did you ever have a sibling controller? And I played this on my little brother his entire life. He didn't know until he got older. But whatever gaming system that we had at the time, I was giving him the controller from the last gaming system that we had. So when we were playing NES, I was giving him the Atari controller. Whenever we were playing any Sega Genesis, he was playing with the NES controller. And then whenever we were playing PlayStation, he was playing with the Genesis controller. And he always thought it was plugged in. And it was never plugged in. But when he got old enough to know that his controller wasn't plugged in and that he actually wanted to play, we had a controller. It was like a Mad Catz one. It was called the Night Glow or something Glow controller, and it was transparent. It was clear, but it had green neon lights in it. That thing was so fucking bright that, we'd be playing in the living room. We had one of those old rear projection TVs. It was a big screen, 60-inch screen, and it was a big screen, but it was like a giant DLP style one. So it was a like rear projection. So it looked better when you had the lights off. But if you had the lights off and he's sitting there with his controller in front of him, this thing is glowing like the fucking sun. And we had to eventually like, so we'd have like a chair, right? With armrests, we'd put something over the armrest so he would play with his controller underneath the armrest, so it would block the light. It was awful. You're blaming the controller a lot. You should listen, Ricky. It's probably 50-50 at this point. I would like to be there on the day when that realization happens. Wait a minute. Yeah, his controller was never plugged in. But you know what? As a teenager, I shouldn't have been babysitting my younger brother anyway. So, like, that was my form of babysitting. We're going to play video games. You're going to sit there and watch. But then he was having a good time. He thought he was actually playing. So, like, what's the problem, you know? It's harmless. I love sliding into the next room. That's like the coolest thing you can do in this game. All right, cool. We're getting far. Also, this is my last life, so... Oh, this is hard. This is going to be hard to do on the last life. And they're harder to kill, too. Instead of 3 hits, they take 4 hits. Oh, God. Guys, you can't tell right now, but my hands are so sweaty. Oh, fuck. I just walked out. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Freebie. I'll fucking take it. I will fucking take it. It's no Sag. Weak knees, mom, spaghetti. Nega Jason. Nega Scott. Fuck, I hate these levels with the worms. There is kind of a trick to him. I mean, it might not really be a trick. It's just my strategy. Is you slowly progress the screen, and anytime one bubbles up behind you, you prioritize killing that one first. Because them jumping over you is going to really ruin your day. Fuck. Oh, shit, that was my last life. Butts. Big old butts. Well, I haven't asked. What is your all thoughts on this game? What do you think of this game? Is this a cool game or what? Would you have played this in the arcade in 1988 if you were around back then? I would have been 1 year old when this game came out. Big old booty. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I think what this game does that a lot of games, even for the next decade, failed to do was capture this like horror atmosphere tone that this game does so well. Like it's really just playing off of the haunted house trope, right? But it nails it. It nails the atmosphere. It nails all the tone of it in a way that a lot of like horror games don't. Why are you smashing chairs? Because they're possessed chairs. They're ghost chairs. I would not. I'd be too stressed out, and all of the cool kids would be playing it. But I love it now. It's a bit of a janky in places, yes, of course, and it handles like a shopping cart. But I love the audio. It probably wouldn't have held my attention for long, just because I couldn't beat it or move on to the next level. Then the penalty for losing would be obnoxious. I have ADHD, so yeah. So I don't know if you guys remember like going to arcades as a kid, but I remember going as a younger kid, and there would always be like the older kids who I always thought were like in their 20s, but they were probably just like 13, 14-year-olds, but were really, really good at games. And I remember like I could just stand there next to the arcade cabinet and just watch somebody play Mortal Kombat 2 for hours. I'm like, wow, these guys are pros. They're fucking pros. This would be one of those games where there would probably be a couple of like 13 or 14-year-old kids that are just like pumping $20 and coins into this machine just to beat it. I would make friends with chairs if they were ever possessed. Yeah, I mean, it might be fun to sit in a haunted house. Oh, by the way, Molly and I just watched The Haunted Mansion last night. Have you seen the new Haunted Mansion movie? It was actually pretty good. I liked it. It was fun. It was better than the Muppet Haunted Mansion, which was damn near impossible to watch. It was so bad. Which seems counterintuitive because I've always said, like, the best way to make a good Muppet movie is to remake a regular movie with Muppets. So, like, doing, like, I don't know, when they did the Muppet Christmas Carol, like, that's, like, one of the best Muppet movies, or Muppet Treasure Island. Like, they're actual movies or actual stories. They're just remade with Muppets, and that's what makes it good. But, like, nobody's watching the Muppets Take Manhattan or the one with Brendan Fraser. Like, nobody watches that movie and says that one's a classic one. But just take a classic movie of the past, remake it with Muppets. Like, can we get Muppet Saving Private Ryan? You know, the opening scene where they're storming the beach and there's like a Muppet just like holding his stuffing, like, oh God, his cotton is pouring out of him. That's the movie I want to see. Okay, maybe not, but it would certainly lighten the tone. Need to try it out. Yeah, got to force spooky season to happen if the weather's not going to do it. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. The weather in the mornings has been fantastic. It's been so nice and cool. And, like, I drive over the mountain for work, so, like, sometimes we'll have fog, and I'll drive through fog, thick fog, going to work, and it looks like Silent Hill. It's pretty cool. Okay, game faces. Here we go. So far, so good? Yes. Okay, pro mode. Driving through fog is the best. Fuck. See, that's the bullshit, God damn it, of this era of gaming is, like, getting hit by things off screen. Like, it pushed me in the hole. I was doing so well. Oh, fuck, this level again. Says you it's either raining or extremely hot. Yeah, we had a good couple of weeks where it was pretty nice. And then the temperature just shot right back up. What is a movie that you would like to see remade with the Muppets? Or are we all just holding out hope for Muppet the Exorcist? More inclement weather, please. I didn't pass this level last time. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pass it now. Like, really, this whole credit that I'm playing on, this continue, is determinant on passing that second screen. Or the hand level, like passing that correctly. Also, what is the witch saying? I'm a ghoul, ha? I'm a cool. Or maybe he's saying, I have a cool hat. And it definitely sounds different on the home version. It's definitely more high-pitched. And less discernible. Like, it doesn't sound like they're saying anything. It, like, sings a melody. I will say this, though. If you can kill the witch, its death animation is good. Because, like, it dies, and then, its little hat just, like, floats down to the ground. But I couldn't do that. I have a cool hat. Okay. I think that is enough of this game. I'm gonna save it there, and we're gonna swap to a different game. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? I'm a girl hat. So yeah, see something along those lines. So we're playing another game from my childhood that I used to play on PC all the time. This game is called Monster Bash. It is a really cool ode to all the spooky tropes as well. Much more lighthearted than Splatterhouse was. It was a monster bash. Exactly. Funny story about that song, The Monster Mash, is we have never actually heard Moonbeam! Welcome in, Moonbeam Rose. Can we get a shout out going for Moonbeam, por favor? How you doing, Moonbeam? Long time no see. Howdy. Welcome in, Raiders. How are you doing? We are Spectervision. We play horror and sci-fi games. And I am Londo. Molly is not here right now. And in the background, we got Archie.
Okay.
Is this the clip that I made?
I had fun picking my genitals.
It is.
Nobody clipped that.
Had fun picking the genitals. We were talking about Baldur's Gate 3 and how much fun you have choosing the genitals in Baldur's Gate 3. And I feel like that is the new question that you ask. Instead of going up to somebody and saying, hey, what is your astrological sign? You ask them, which genitals did you choose when you made your Baldur's Gate 3 character? That is the real question that we need answers to. But yeah, welcome in, Raiders. We are Spectervision. We do horror and sci-fi. We've been on a little streaming hiatus for a while, and today is the first day back. So I'm glad that you all are here to share it with us. Like I said, my name is Londo, and then this is Molly. In the background, we got Archie, and I have another cat somewhere. She's running around. I don't know where she is. She's antisocial today. But yeah, we feed them treats for subs, and they've already had a couple of treats, so he's all tuckered out. But tonight we're doing a lot of retro horror games. We were just playing a game called Splatterhouse, and I was getting very frustrated because I was sucking at it. So we're switching it over to a new game, another game from my childhood called Monster Bash. We play a little boy who his dog was kidnapped by the evil ghoul. I guess he's like a vampire thing, and your goal in the game is to rescue all the pets that have been captured along the way. Yeah, something like that. Really cool old school style game. I feel like it's perfect for Halloween time. How's it going? Oh shoot! I want to start from the beginning. How do I start from the beginning? Whoop! I actually quit the whole game out. It is fun. It really is. Gonna take off. Gonna see how karaoke feels at a local place. Glad you're back. Well, yeah, you guys have fun. Are you going with Mitch? Tell him I said what's up. Tell him to sing "Wanted Dead or Alive" by what's his name? John Bovey. Part 1. Oh yeah, here we go. Level 1. Hang on, my Wi-Fi is deciding to be dead now. Okay, so we are a little kid in his little cute PJs and his backwards cap. It's totally 90s attitude. And you were armed only with a slingshot. And you have to save all the pets. I'll put some background music. You have to save all the pets from their captivity. I had to yell it across the house, but I made sure Nate heard what he should say to Mitch. Oh, are you not going to, Ghost? You're staying in? You're not going to the Roki? Here's a question for you guys. What are your top 2 songs to sing karaoke if you do karaoke? Are you kidding? You're streaming. I ain't missing that. Aw. Well, Ghost, I appreciate you so much. My favorite songs to do karaoke are Careless Whisper by George Michael, Moondance by Van Morrison, and Try a Little Tenderness by Otis Redding. Those are my 3 go-to karaoke songs. I'm terrified to sing karaoke. I've never done it.
Awesome.
It's more terrifying to think about it than it is to actually do it. You'll sit there and psych yourself out the whole time, like being nervous about going on stage. But if you actually just... Oh, shit. If you actually just do it, it's not as bad as you would think. Crap, I might have just killed myself here. Oh, no. Secret. Heh. That's the thing. So this game was originally released on the PC on DOS. I had it on DOS, and I didn't have a sound card, so this was like this is the first time I've actually been able to hear the actual sound effects of the game without the internal PC speaker, just like garbled mess that it was. Hey, GCU, how you doing? White and Nerdy is your go-to. Oh, that's great. If I saw somebody do White and Nerdy on karaoke, that would be fantastic. There are some cardinal rules, though, about karaoke. And it's a rule that a lot of people... the rules that a lot of people break because they don't know. Stay away from show tunes. Nobody wants to hear you sing a love ballad from Les Miserables. Keep it to light songs, you know? Nobody wants to hear that. Also, Lord help you if you play Don't Stop Believing or what's that Spice Girls song? Wannabe. Ugh. You know how many times I've been to a karaoke and just seen a bunch of drunken frat boys singing Don't Stop Believing or a bunch of drunk sorority girls singing Spice Girls Wannabe. Or Girls Just Want to Have Fun, for that matter. They're kind of the same category. Because that's the thing. They're going to go up there with a whole group of people who aren't actually singing. They're just yelling. And contrary to what you may think, the louder you shout does not equal the better you sing. So being loud isn't being good at karaoke. You've seen people booed before? Oh, dang. See, I would never boo anybody, even if they sucked. Because it still takes balls to get up on stage and perform in front of people. So, like, booing, even... I may hate it and be like, oh, God, this guy's awful. But I'm not going to boo him.
Cool.
Are you saying boo or boo earns? The thing about the slingshot is like the arc of the stones is not easy to predict. Okay, so just real nerdy and do RTJ. Got it. Exactly. Also, like, don't pick really long songs. That's the thing too that a lot of people make a mistake of. Like, don't go up there and do November Rain or all 15 minutes of American Pie. Or Inagata Davida. Like, especially if you're not a good singer, because then it's just, you're torturing people. Have to sit through your entire performance of the longest songs ever written. I'm gonna boo them if they're mean, but otherwise, like, we're all trying to have fun. No worries. Yeah, exactly. I will say though, if you're not a good singer, pick a song that's really popular and get the crowd to sing along with you. That's the trick. Damn, I can't hit that fucking spearhead. And I know I'm gonna hit it if I jump over there. Oh, there we go, got it. Ooh, I got an achievement. Break 100 objects. See, I would try to do Queen, and that's not gonna work. You gotta have some pipes to sing Queen. Freddie Mercury has such a range that, like, unless you're gonna go out there and rock it, like, don't even touch it. That is sacrilege. But, that being said, you could do Bohemian Rhapsody and get a lot of crowd participation in that. So if you are going to do a Queen song, do Bohemian Rhapsody. That's the perfect crowdsource band. So it is, yeah. If you're at like a karaoke bar after in a college town after the college team just like won a football game, then you can do "We Are the Champions." I was actually talking with Molly about this the other night because we were on the radio. It had "We Are the Champions" and what's it? Shit. So the whole debate was they never play. "We Are the Champions" is not a really long song, right? So it's "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions," and it's not the same song. And so Molly and I were kind of arguing about that. I was like, yeah, I've always wondered, is it the same song that just has two completely different parts to it? Or are they two short songs that for the radio, they always just combine? It is two different songs, right? But the radio edit, I've never heard it on the radio, one song without the other. It's always been both of them. It's always "We Are the Champions" first, and then... No, sorry. "We Will Rock You" first, and then "We Are the Champions." So it's never one without the other. And I actually looked it up. It turns out that they were both like B-sides of... they were both like the size of the same single. And so the radio edit of the songs is to play them both back to back. I see we have been in the same college bar. Exactly, right? Yeah, they combine them, which I hate. But I guess it kind of makes sense because, like, you know, fuck, "We Will Rock You," right? That's like the ultimate, like, get hype, we're playing sports, we're in it to win it kind of song, right? And then you do win it, and then you're hoisting the trophy at the end, and it's "We Are the Champions." So I can see why they're combining those. They're not combining "We Will Rock You" with "I Want to Ride My Bicycle," or... I Need Somebody to Love, you know? So I guess contextually it makes a little bit of sense. But yeah, that was one of those things that I've always thought my entire life, and I never Googled until just like last week when Molly and I had like a debate in the car about that. Where she's like, "No, it's the same song, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure it's different songs, but why would they play them together?" I've never not heard it at the same time. Our favorite genre, we're playing sports. Exactly. Love you. I love you too. "Don't Stop Me Now" is a favorite. Oh yeah, "Don't Stop Me Now" is great. And I always think of Shaun of the Dead, where they're beating the zombie owners of the pub with pull cues, and that song is playing because they ram him into the jukebox and it starts playing that song, and it's like it's on random. And so they're just like beating him up, and it's like synchronized to the music as they're beating up the zombie bar owner to "Don't Stop Me Now." Don't stop me now. I freed all those pets. Trust me, the game gets a lot harder. This is a pretty solid game. Like I said, I used to play this as a kid. I had it on my PC. Like the DOS version, and I didn't have a Sound Blaster sound card, so it was just like the internal PC speaker. And I don't know if you ever had games play on the internal PC speaker, but it sounds awful. In fact, there is a setting in the game where you can have it. So this is the HD remake or re-release, I guess, or remaster, and you can choose which sound settings you want, whether it be the Sound Blaster or the internal PC speaker. I love the two kitties just snuggling, being cute. I know, right? You know what? Let me adjust the camera. You can get a better look at them.
Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Give him the food!
Uh-oh! Ghost! What the hey? How is the average time? 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, I think people speed run this game for sure. Moira and Archie. Oh, Ghost, thank you so much. We are getting subs out to Magnus. Hey! To Doc Plays, to The Omega Theory, to Reactive Cat, and to DMX 2391. Some good folks getting some good subs. So, guys, we do have a little thing. Anytime that we get some subs in the channel, we feed these cats. So, listen up for the crunch cam. I am going to enable the cats' microphones. Come here.
Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Feed that cat!
Oh shit, Isla! Alright, I'll give you one more. Holy freaking butts. Thank you so much, guys, for these Get This Says. Auntie Isla, how have you been? It has been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Y'all, can we get a shout out going for Auntie Isla, por favor? You could hear the purrs. Yeah, I can't even hear the purrs. So only that mic detects them. I can't hear them. Let's watch this clip.
Things.
Cool.
Start cooking. Wow. Oh my god. Holy shit. Ah.
What?
The juicer. Oh my god, what the fuck?
It's juicing.
It's a juicing. It's a juicing. If anyone wants to clip that. Yeah.
That looked very suggestive. What was that game? You just missed Nate. Yeah, he already won a bingo. I'm beginning to think you might be the same person. Yeah, I will say I never see Isla and Nate in the same room at the same time. So it's like the same reason why you never see Bruce Wayne and Batman in the same room. Oh, that's Kraz. Yeah, it was very aggressive. That was some aggressive pumping there. But you know what? You know, whatever sinks your boat, or whatever, as they say. Okay, so where was I? I feel like I was like explaining a very life-changing, important lesson, but now I forgot. So we'll never know. I was giving you the answers to life that you were desperately needing, and now we will never know. It looked like Raft. It was Raft. Okay, fun survival. Auntie is Batman, Nate is Bruce. Do you all ever read any Batman comics? I actually really enjoy Batman comics. Especially like the Detective Comics brand of it. It's good stuff. You need quite a few of those. Also, is anybody else having a drink, or am I the only one drinking tonight? I'm drinking Jim Beam and Dr. Pepper. Very simple cocktail, but very satisfying. I'm a whiskey guy. I like my liquor brown. Like me. So, for those that don't know, I am playing a little known DOS game called Monster Bash, where we play a little kid in his pajamas going to rescue his dog back from the evil vampire that kidnapped him. And along the way, save all the neighborhood dogs and cats who are trapped. I don't know when this game came out. I'm going to guess... Somebody will have to fact check me on this. I'm going to guess it was 1991.
Awesome.
If anybody can, like, look that up. That's my guess. Hold up. What was that drink? So I'm drinking Jim Beam and Dr. Pepper. That's all it is. Jim Beam and Dr. Pepper. It's good. It's good stuff. It's one of my go-to, like, just, you know, lounging around the house kind of easy cocktails. I don't want to make anything too fancy. I always have Dr. Pepper. I always have whiskey, so it works. I think I'll make a drink after I finish my dinner. I'll join you. What are you having for dinner? Is it the bread that you made? Is that somehow involved? Still so happy to see you when you can make it, Auntie. Yes, we always love you, Auntie Isla. 1993. Oh, I was close. So I would have been, let's see, how old would I have been? I would have been 6 years old when this game came out. That sounds about right. So I remember playing it when I was around that age. But like I said, we didn't have an actual sound card on our PC. For those that don't know, maybe too young, you know, PCs have graphics cards now, right? You always have to buy a graphics card. Back then, they were rare, and you also had to have an audio card to play like high fidelity audio, and you would even get like full-on MIDI controllers where you could hook up a synthesizer to your PC and have the sound play out of that. It was nuts. I can't even describe like what gaming was like on PC back then. It was just such a different world than it is now. You're having some of my quiche. I like a good breakfast quiche. I like a good breakfast anything, honestly. Dr. Pepper is the best mixer. Yeah, it really is. It cuts so well with well, I'm not gonna say that. So like, the reason I drink this with Jim Beam is because Jim Beam is a bourbon, right?
Cool.
I don't like it with Jack Daniels. And I've gone to bars before and asked for Jim Beam and Dr. Pepper, and they don't have it. They're like, sorry, we don't have Jim Beam. Can you do Jack Daniels? And Jack Daniels is a Tennessee whiskey, and it's different. It's a little spicier. And I think, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the rules are bourbon can only come from Bourbon County, Kentucky. Like, it's named after the county. Kind of like Champagne can only come from Champagne in France, the Champagne region of France, and how Scotch can only come from Scotland. Same kind of rules, right? But it all depends on the kind of mash that they're using to make it, whether it's a sour mash or spiced mash or whatever. But the Jim Beam is sweeter. It's a sweeter bourbon, so it complements the Dr. Pepper in a really good way. They mix really well. But Jack Daniels, on the other hand, is spicier, and so it contrasts with the sweetness of the Dr. Pepper, and you just have a really gross drink. I love the rambling. Yes, absolutely. That's what you guys came here for, right? To me, ramble about like my obscure tastes in liquors. I know I've just been through a tough few weeks. I'm so sorry, Ricky. You know, I'm right there with you. Things have been very rough for me at work lately, and it's very much questioning, you know, the work that I do and the importance of it. And so, but power through. I know that you are new in college, and college can be very stressful. Just know that it does get better. You will hit your stride. Focus on making friends and learning things about yourself that you probably didn't know before. And that I think is the most important part about college, is finding out who you are. At least it was for me. Hondo, shut up and tell Auntie happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday, Isla. Can we do another birthday shout out? Sorry, I just read your you got sushi for your birthday. Okay, there is a way to get up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Jezza,
absolutely.
wait. Face me directly.
Oh,
I'm gonna chuck some rocks at you. Claw.
That's actually, I think it might have. Yep, you tossed them at me.
No.
You happen to be running by.
How did you get them?
Can
He
anybody
threw them
clip
over
that?
my shoulder and you picked them up?
One great thing about Auntie Isla, if you're not following, Isla plays a lot with their family, and there is chaotic energy and hilarity that ensues. So if you like some good chaotic co-op streaming. Definitely give Auntie Isla a follow. Yes, true. Bourbon can only come from Bourbon County, but bourbon just had to have more corn mash. Okay, that's what it is. The corn. I'm a corny guy, so maybe that's why I like it more. And there's the corny. I'm not even. It's not even the college part that's been hard. Oh man. I'm so sorry, Ricky. I do hope that things start to level out for you and you can find some enjoyment. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I've been saying that a lot. The Jack Daniel's distillery is in a dry county, and so when you like go tour the distillery or whatever, they have this weird like law loophole where you can't leave with a bottle of it. They're not selling you alcohol. They're selling you a bottle that may or may not have alcohol in it. They don't know. They're just selling you like a gift bottle, and there could be a possibility that there might be alcohol inside of it. Who knows? And that's like part of their way of skirting that law. Yes, this is dry county. Which is so dumb. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Oh, fuck, I missed it. You are welcome for the birthday cheers. Happy birthday, Isla. So, how old are you turning? Is it 24, 25? Let me know if I'm warm. There's a pet behind that left. Okay, I forgot a pet. No pet left behind. Oh, it's underground. How am I missing it? Was there an access somewhere to the underground that I missed? I've never been to a distillery before, but it seems like that could be really fun. I already came through here, right? Maybe I didn't go far enough? I would be surprised if anybody else has actually played this game, or whether this is just something from my childhood that I remember. Oh, there it is. It's up there. Okay. Raise your hand in the chat if you have played this game before. I am 44 and have earned every single one of those years. You know what? Own it, right? I always think it's funny when people like try to lie about their ages. Like, who are you really benefiting by doing that? Molly has a very good strategy. She's like, I'm just going to start telling people I'm older than I am. That way they all think that I look good for my age. Like, oh, you look so young for 50. Which is a great strategy, I think. My heart. I'm so sorry, Shade. Oh, sorry. Did I miss something? So then it was my papa's death day. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So the week before and the few weeks after are always pretty rough. I'm so sorry to hear about that, Ricky. I hope that you're able to feel okay, you know, given some time. That's definitely rough. 14 years and it feels like it just happened. That's, I mean, yeah, that I can't even imagine. But we are here for you, and you know we love you, and we support you. So you have us on your corner. I have seen this game, but have no clue where. It's definitely a hidden gem. Like I said, I played it a lot on DOS, on my old DOS PC when I was a kid. But they've re-released it on Steam as like an HD remaster, and it's got some more, you know, modern quality of life things in it. But for the most part, it's pretty much exactly as I remember it. I do need to run for a bit. It's 11 p.m. for me, and I have to work tomorrow. Okay, yeah, you go get some rest, especially after having a long stream. Thank you again for sending some raiders our way. Can we do one last shout out for Moonbeam Rose pretty please. And then I will show you the door. Love being held. That's smart. Yes, have a great day at work tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, I had fun picking my genitals.
We just saw this clip, but she's talking about picking the genitals on the character on Baldur's Gate 3, which I don't know if you guys have been playing that yet, but man, I fucking love that game. It is so good. All right, Moonbeam, you have a great night. Let me show you the door. Where's my door button? Oh. Have a good night. So long, fucker. Enjoy work tomorrow. Speaking of work, I am off of work until Tuesday. Yeah, 4-day weekend. And of course, it's been so long, I had to say hi. Yes, I'm so glad you were able to come in. You were too sweet, thank you. Of course. Have a great night. I think it's one of those things that, like, the fact that Moonbeam was able to stick around for a while after streaming and raiding, like, that's super cool. I know I don't do it all the time because sometimes at the end of a stream I am exhausted or like really have to use the bathroom and I've been holding it this whole time. So it's like I'm sorry to have to like raid and dash, but no, you're super cool for sticking around. It is never expected but always appreciated. Okay. Stupid buzzards. Hey, well, you know what that means. You should keep doing our campaign this week. Yes, we should. Let's play. Let's definitely play. They just released the patch to the update that broke a lot of things in the game, and necromancers are back, baby. They fixed the animate dead spell, so now it actually works. So yeah, they just released the hot fix like 2 days ago. I also have post-stream chats with the fam. And I know, like, I've been playing games this whole time, but sometimes, like, after a stream, I want to just, like, switch to another game and just play it, you know? Like, I have to have a post-stream cooldown game, if that makes any sense. I think there's something that, like, when you're playing games for stream, it's almost like you're not really playing them. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I'm playing this game, but it's almost like I'm on autopilot. Like, I'm not really concentrating on it or paying attention. I'm paying more attention to, like, the chat and stuff. But the game is kind of just playing itself. So I'm not, like, really concentrating it. Or, like, I don't want to say I'm not enjoying it, because I am enjoying it. But I'm not, like, invested in it in the way that I would be if I was playing it offline. Never in my life has someone said, save some ass for the rest of us, until last week when we played together. I don't remember when did I say that? Oh yeah, it's because you were flirting with all the characters, and like none of them liked me. You were risen all of them up, and I was just like, okay, well, what am I? Just chop liver over here? Save some ass for the rest of us. I'll tell you what though, I'm gonna get Shadowheart on my side. She's gonna be my boo in our playthrough. You can have all the rest. I'm just gonna get me some Shadowheart love. It's a conditioning thing, like doing a post-workout. Exactly. Yeah, right. You gotta do your cooldown session. So, I'm pretty deep into Act 3 on Baldur's Gate, and I just completed Astarian's storyline. So I just finished his, and I have not used him the entire game until I picked him up just to do his story quest. But I actually thought his story is very satisfying, and performance-wise is very good too. Like that voice actor does a great job, and so that I'm trying not to spoil anything, but yeah, definitely a unexpected like bright spot of the game was Astarian's like final parts of his story. I also respect him to a ranger because I didn't want to play as a rogue, so I made him a ranger instead. And super cool thing that I didn't know, as you get higher in level, oh shit, as ranger and you summon your guardian animals, they get armor, and like you have like your bear or your wolf wear like a helmet. It's kind of cool. No spoil. No, I'm not going to spoil anything. I promise. I know a lot of people are very invested in that game, so I'm not going to spoil anything. I believe you. She's great. She is great. I love Shadowheart. I was like, I can change her. I did. I won her over. I know that's like such a toxic thing to think about of like, I can fix them. But you know what? I mean, everybody needs a little emotional support, I guess. He also played Elijah Kamsky and Gavin Reed in Detroit Become Human. Oh, I have not played Detroit Become Human. I did play the game from that same development studio, Heavy Rain. That was one of theirs, right? And I hated that game. Oh boy, that game was just... I could not make it more than like an hour into that game. Like you spend the whole first part of the game just like getting the guy out of bed and like brushing his teeth. Ugh. It was the worst kind of like artificial gameplay for me. Like I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just like arbitrarily just padding the gameplay time, and then like having to do like the motion controls and stuff. Like I found that really just disheartening on that game. Oh no, fixing. You gave him the worst class. I know everybody says that, but I like the Ranger. Just because they have a cool guardian pet. And once you get to that higher level, like that wolf that I had was doing work. It had more HP than my Shadowheart does. And so it was just like doing some heavy damage, and then it can take multiple turns then at higher levels too. So it just sits there and does 3 or 4 attacks. It's awesome. Pets are always optimal. Exactly. But yeah, I really like Baldur's Gate 3. That game is definitely an unexpected hit for me because I played the other Baldur's Gate games. I played a little bit of the second one and a little bit of Icewind Dale, which is the same kind of game. And they're not great. Well, I mean, I'm sure they probably were for their time, but like going back now, because I got them for free on Amazon Prime, they were like part of like the free games of the month, and oh boy, do they not hold up. They do not hold up as well. Just out of curiosity, I wanted to like go back to them and see what they were like after playing Baldur's Gate 3, but yeah, they definitely don't stand the test of time. And even back then, I don't think I would be into that kind of like CRPG kind of game. It seemed too overwhelming and complex for what my tastes would have been back then. But I definitely have loved playing Baldur's Gate. Like that Baldur's Gate 3, like it's just such a good like introduction to that kind of game and to the D&D world like as a whole. It's definitely a good like beginner's introduction to that kind of stuff, and I'm loving it. I'm also a very big fan of strategy games, so I love turn-based strategy games, you know, like Final Fantasy Tactics or XCOM. Like I'm really into those kind of games, right? So I love the combat in it, but I know a lot of people hate it. They're like, ugh, turn-based, but that's not the kind of game you would want to play in real time because it would be so hard to cast spells and keep up with all your characters. It has to be there's no other way it could work other than turn-based. It's so satisfying to watch you knock all the skulls. Yeah, there's actually like bonuses for getting all of the skulls in the level. And I like how they like laugh at you. They go, ah, ah. Stupid zombie heads.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I never knew that the little kid talked back then. He says awesome cool. and like cool. Because like I said, I didn't have a sound card, so it'd just be like bloom, like play like a little chime on the internal PC speaker. One of my favorite DOS games is a very little known, obscure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Manhattan Missions. And it wasn't like the popular arcade game beat 'em up, right? It was like a it was more like a 2D slow-paced adventure game, and the combat in it was really, really complex. So you would use the keyboard to play, and you know, the right side of the keyboard where you have your number pad, those would all be attacks in a different direction. So you'd have your high attacks, your low attacks, your high forward attacks, your low forward attacks, your low rear attacks, and then you could also hold shift and block in all those different directions too. So like the combat was really complex. But what was really cool about that game is it followed the comic book rather than the TV show. So it was a little like darker and edgier, and I don't know, it's just a super, super cool DOS game. One of these days I'll find like an emulated version of it, and maybe I'll play it. But man, that game I used to spend so much time in, and I wonder if I could still beat it. Like beating Shredder at the end was cool. And the cool thing about that game is it all took place kind of in real time. So you had a timer where like the whole story behind the game is Shredder threatens to take over the city, and you only have 24 hours to stop him, right? So there's a 24-hour timer that's constantly ticking throughout the game. And you can do the missions on the map screen in any order. And if your turtles get hurt or they die, you have to heal them by resting. But resting spends hours. So you have to like spend hours to rest to heal your guys up. And so it's all about time management too. Ah, Johnny Dash. Impudent, sniveling, feeble-minded, measly shit, wretchedly cute little Johnny Dash in his pajama feet. I have been expecting you. You have done well to get this far. I regret that I will not be able to deal with you myself. But you could never reach my lair in time to save your precious pooch. As soon as my helper Igor perfects his potion in the lab, your wriggling little pooch, along with all the other pets, will be slaves to my bidding. But I tire of this game, and I have sent your nemesis to finish you off. Onward, Johnny Dash. Onward if you dare. Onward to your doom. Hey, don't ever call me cute. But the apparition was gone. Random thought, I want to pet a fox, a lion, and a tiger. Oh, and a bear. Those are like some of the most dangerous things you could pet. All right, here we go. Boss fight. Let's do this. Yeah, bitch. Get stepping.
Awesome.
You amuse me once again, Mr. Dash. You have bested your nemesis for now. He will be back when he has grown stronger. But also, if you get them when they're feeling real lazy, you probably could. Yeah, it's true. You could probably pet them when they're heavily sedated. But, you know, that's why I want to pet them, because they're dangerous. I think foxes are cool. But I think there's a reason we don't have pet foxes. They're closer to like rodents than they are to like cats, right? We do though, but they are stinky. Oh, are foxes stinky? Oh yeah, there's a dragon. I remember by my old house there were some wild foxes, and we just lived in like a normal neighborhood, but there was like a family of wild red foxes that lived around us, and every now and then we would see them. It was super cool. It was always a treat to see them around our house. Oh man, and then for a while there were skunks like infesting our neighborhood. Just tons of them. In fact, what my stepdad ended up doing was he put out, so we had outdoor cats, and the skunks would come and eat their food. And so he ended up putting traps out and baiting them with cat food. And you know, for a good like month. It was like every other morning, go out and there's a skunk in the cage, in the trap, and so we'd call animal control and they'd go release it out in the desert. But yeah, the skunks, because every now and then they'd spray something and then it just stinks up the whole block, man. It really stunk things up. These vines are dying. Oh, that's right. I have to like water the vines to. For question of the day, you were on hiatus? Yeah, we took about a month and a half off. Same. I did 2 Renaissance festivals, a theater festival, a convention, and ran 2 fundraisers for nonprofits. I have to go to festival. I have 1 more festival to go. I do not know how you find the time. That sounds insanely busy, but also super satisfying because like you're doing a lot of really creative stuff. So that's got to be super fun.
Whoa.
That's so cool. Yeah, like Arctic foxes. Oh, Arctic foxes are cool. I mean, foxes just are cool in general. I want a fox. Wouldn't that be cool if we had like a pet fox and I had a fox cam? Not to say I don't like our cats. Our cats are great. Okay, over there. Yeah, the arc of the rocks, the pebbles are sometimes kind of hard to hit right. You have to like judge the trajectory just right. Trajectory just right. Ah, fuck. Damn it, I fucked it up. Maybe I can do it like this. Ah, damn it. No! So you gotta like hit those rocks and build yourself a little ladder to get up there, and I totally fucked it up. Oh look, I make it nod his head. Yup. I do stuff months of festivals and then 6 months of no festivals. So there's definitely a festival season, that's for sure. Well, that's awesome, Isla. I hope those are all going well for you. Bank shot.
Awesome.
I love that he just like falls so far and doesn't really.
Cool.
It doesn't kill him. He does get a little dazed though, so I guess that's the trade-off. Is there only I get the water from here? Huh. I thought this is where I get the water. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Where do I go? This is definitely one of those games that you can get like turned around pretty easily in, and end up getting lost before you know it.
Cool.
This last festival is 2 weeks. When our mutual friend does design work for. Oh, awesome! And his stuff is so good. I hope you've talked to him lately. How's he doing? I know he's been doing his radiation treatment now. So that is our friend oddly Big Bear, who we actually had that little fundraiser for when he started his chemo treatment. But he had completed his chemo and now he's doing radiation. And I hope he's doing well. It's definitely something hard to do.
Cool.
If you see him, tell him that I asked about him. Hope he's doing okay. Fuck. Did I just fuck this up again? Oh, damn it. I did fuck it up. Okay, maybe I can push this rock back that I'm standing on. If I bank shot it. There we go. Yeah! Okay. Problem solving. Oh, damn, I hope so too. Always heard good things from our mutuals about your mutual. Yeah, he's a real great guy. I miss him. We used to hang out all the time. I always loved because anytime I would throw a barbecue or cookout or something, he would always be the first guy to come over, and we would always just like shoot the shit for like an hour before everybody else showed up. It was always really fun, but I could always rely on him to be the first one. And then he and I played. What did we play? We played Resident Evil 6 together, and no, it wasn't 6. Maybe no, it was Resident Evil Revelations 2. So it's the one where you play as Claire and Moira. And okay, this is gonna sound. We were just joking around, but so you play as 2 female characters, and so we made a lot of like really like, I guess they were like sexist quips, or stereotypical sexist quips as we're playing, like in their voices, and that was kind of a fun playthrough to do.
Excellent. Awesome.
We weren't trying to be offensive or anything. We were just being silly, but yeah. And then we played Resident Evil 6 as the Chris and Piers campaign, and so Piers is the only like canonically gay Resident Evil character. So we played on their bromance a lot in our little ad-libbing as we played Resident Evil. God damn it, how do I get up there? Maybe I don't get up that way. Not much chatting, but they're still doing improv and such, so I assume fairly well. I'll probably see him in a couple of weeks, and I'll let him know. Okay, yeah, we were role-playing. It's fun. Kind of like we do when we play Baldur's Gate. It's a role-playing game, right? You gotta like make your fun out of it. Oh, damn it. I can't wait to do a Dark Urge playthrough. That's gonna be something that I'm looking forward to. I've heard like it's a totally different game playing as the Dark Urge. And I will say this, about Baldur's Gate 3, it's definitely one of the first RPG games where I actually felt like I was
Awesome.
like making my own story. You know what I mean? Like I truly felt like I wasn't, like, you're not just playing a character, you're playing your character, and it's role-playing in that there are so many different ways that you can approach the story or the combat or the different scenarios or the conflicts. You really do make it your own playthrough, and it's unique in that sense. It's so fun. It is. New bingo tile suggestion. Conversation turns to Baldur's Gate 3. Right. Well, I'm interested to see if they're gonna do any kind of like DLC updates, like new content for the game. I mean, they've got to do something, right? Like, this game, it was an unexpected like smash hit, and it got like rave reviews. I've seen like perfect 10s in more than one publication. I think IGN gave it a perfect 10. Yeah. Truly, like, I'm thinking about my next character doing a greedy kind of slime ball character. Yes. When I was playing with Izzy, he didn't know this at the time, but I had showed him that you can make characters completely nude, and so he was like, "Oh my god, this changes everything." So then we were joking about doing an all nude party of halflings that are all barbarians. So we're just all nude all the time, all barbarian halflings. I feel like that'd be something that would be entertaining. Sorry if I sound a little... my throat sounds a little scratchy. I have been hella congested this week. My allergies have been killing me. And I finally broke a lot of that congestion, but then you get drainage, and so my throat's kind of sore. Oh, fuck yeah, halfling barbarians would be great. With swords and axes that are taller than them. Exactly. All right, kids, I'm heading to bed because I'm super old. Love to see you. Thank you so much, Isla, for coming out. Thank you again for that sub. Let me show you the door. I hope you have a great night. So long, fuckers. Have a good one. Y'all, if you're not following Auntie Isla, please go give her a follow. Really great content, and I hope that you stream again soon, Isla. Where do I go here? Oh, you know what? I know where I go. I filled up the water canteen, so I gotta go water the crops, and then it gives you, like, secret ladders. Move it! Like somebody driving slow in the passing lane. You just gotta. How do I? Didn't I pick up the water? Oh, I picked up the water bottle, but I haven't filled it yet. Okay. Surprise farm sim mechanics, right? I do hate though that they patched the exploit that I was using, where you could steal every item from a vendor for free. And by sending it to your camp, like, that was such... Because now I have to use money. And now in Act 3, everything is so damn expensive. Like, a good set of armor from a vendor in Act 3 costs like 14,000 gold. That's insane. I didn't even have time to steal all that gold from everybody, so... Before they patched it out. So I've only got about like 30 grand in gold right now, which isn't going to be enough to get all the things that I want. Now I have to use money, right? Like, that was... It wasn't like totally game breaking. It's not like it was like a big exploit. It was just enough of an exploit that made the game a little bit easier, which I'm for. Although, I'll tell you what now, I think, like, I have mastered the battle system, because, like, my characters are fucking hard. Like, they crush things. In fact, you should jump into my game in one of these days, and I'll show you, like, what I've got going on. I am not afraid of any battles. I have not, like, lost a battle since, like, early Act 2. But I do feel like the earlier parts of the game, especially while you're still learning it, Act 1, like, seems so hard. You're like, man, this game's fucking hard. I keep dying. But once you kind of get used to it and you know how to kind of play characters to their strengths, then you're really able to use them to their full advantage in combat. You know, dude, I'll show you a screenshot of all of my summons that I have now that I have necromancy back. It's chaos whenever I have all of my characters and all of their summons. BRB, okay. Alright, I think I got all of the goodies in this level. I don't know if there's any more. Oh boy. It's funny, like, the walk cycle animation on these like rock guys, it's really just 2 frames of animation that just cycle. But you know what? This was cutting edge in 1992. And this is a game by Apogee Software, who they actually published a lot of games for PC in the 90s. You may know them from the Commander Keen series, and they later went on to have a mega hit with Duke Nukem 3D. The original Duke Nukem 2D games were on PC as well, but they were not as successful as Duke Nukem 3D. Like, that game changed it for them, and after that they started just only doing first-person shooters. It actually led to a rift with the company. I remember seeing a documentary one time about the history of Apogee games, and yeah, that was kind of their whole story. 3D Realms is what they ended up calling themselves, I think. But yeah, there's just something to be said about this era of gaming, especially on the PC, because it was was head and shoulders above console gaming at the time, but not as popular. I think a lot of people didn't have, like, everybody knows Mario. Nobody knows Monster Bash, right? But like this graphically and mechanically is so much like deeper than any Mario game ever was at that time. So yeah, I think it's just the cost of PCs back then. It was made it a little inaccessible in terms of a gaming platform, and there was just such a variation of hardware too. Like, it's not like now where even low-end PCs can still run games. Back then, if you didn't have a good PC that had a Sound Blaster card and a graphics accelerator card, then you really couldn't do a whole lot of gaming. But the early days of 3D gaming, I feel like I really, really, really got into on PC. Like Unreal, like that game series, when it first came out, it was like my go-to. In fact, that was some of my earlier online gaming experiences, playing online deathmatch and like team deathmatch and stuff like that. That was some of the earliest experiences I had playing online multiplayer, which is now just a standard thing. But like back then, that was like new. Oh, deathmatch is a deathmatch mode. It looks like a fun and frustrating game. Yeah, definitely. Well, and that's what a lot of it is. I will say though, I think Mario handles better. One thing that Super Mario Brothers did that a lot of platformers of this era didn't do and just didn't understand was momentum. Mario had momentum in his movement. So you could walk for a few steps and then he would coast and slide if you took your finger off the button. And I don't know if you damn it, if you can really see it in this game, but for as fluid as some of the animation is, it's incredibly stiff in its platform mechanics. Like it's very much like I jump straight up and then kind of like, you know what I mean? Like there's not that sense of momentum or that sense of inertia. So it just comes across as stiff, and that's something that I think Super Mario Brothers was that first kind of platform game to really nail that sense of movement, that sense of speed, and it's actually what makes it such a cool game, because you see all these ROM hacks, or now like with the Mario Maker, like on the Wii or whatever, where you can make your own levels. People make these incredibly challenging levels, but because people have mastered the physics of the game and they've mastered the movement of the characters, it's not impossible. You never feel like you are dying in the game because of bad physics or poor mechanics. It's just because your reflexes weren't fast enough, or you didn't hit the jump right, or you jumped too soon, or you jumped too late, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's not a you never feel robbed by the game. And I think a lot of it is based on this movement. And I think I remember reading or hearing an interview with Miyamoto when he's talking about like that, and he's like, I really wanted a game where a guy is just like running and bouncing around the screen. Like that to me is what he wanted to like nail down, was that mechanic of just like running and jumping. And I think they got it. They got it right on Super Mario.
Awesome.
But it's also one of those games that, led to so many imitators and so many cheap platformer games, especially on the NES, that just did not. They missed the point. The point wasn't that it's just a platformer game. It's a game that felt right. Like the platforming had to be, the mechanics had to be done just right to be perfect. And yeah, Mario got it right.
Cool.
Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Oh fuck. See, like I should be able to squeeze through that.
Whoa.
I've got an emulator with like every NES game, so maybe one of these Maybe that's what I'll do for the month of October is when I do a gaming stream, I'll play a different classic like NES game or something. This, I don't know. I could have been playing like a modern horror game tonight, but I wanted to go retro because I feel like that's something that's just a little more fun to play, and you know, it's not like a story-driven game where we have to pay attention and listen to dialogue and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's something lighter about an old school retro spooky game. Like they're still spooky in their design and in their tone, but I don't know, there's something more lighthearted about the retro games.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, getting all that shit. I never thought about that, but I've definitely seen that in modern platformers. I'm really shit at them, but I see a lot of more motion in a way a character moves. Also, yes, these retro games are really fun. I don't know if you're a fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd, but like the Angry Video Game Nerd was one of the first big YouTube stars of gaming reviewers, and it actually spawned so many imitators of, you know, irate gamers or angry reviews, and but he was the first, and you know, he reviewed a lot of like classic Nintendo games and Genesis games and stuff like that, and he does a couple on some old classic horror games because he's also a big horror fan, like in real life. He's actually a really big cinemaphile when it comes to like old school horror, like classic horror. And so I was gonna say, he put out a game, an Angry Video Game Nerd, that it's actually like a really good platforming game. Fuck, I'm gonna die in here. It's a really good platforming game, and it's such a like cool homage to, if you're familiar with his content, like it's so many inside jokes, and like the levels are themed after like his episodes, and there's one where he's doing like Halloween themed ones, and there's a whole world in one of the games that is based off of those reviews. Okay. Oh, you've never heard of him? Oh my gosh, yeah, that's like definitely like classic old school YouTube stuff. One thing that I really love that he did is, you know, the Angry Video Game Nerd was a character that he had created, right? But the guy was just a filmmaker at heart. In fact, like he went to film school, and like that was just his passion. And the Angry Video Game Nerd was just a creative way to do filmmaking with his friends. But he started branching out, doing other types of reviews. Like there was a whole series where he was doing board game reviews that were really fun. One of my favorite things that he would do is every October, he was doing this series called Monster Madness, where every day for the month of October, he would release a different classic movie review, where it's basically just a voiceover of him talking about whatever movie. And so, you know, sometimes they were like one year it was all Godzilla movies, or one year it was all like sequels, or when it was all like camp themed movies. Super cool stuff, and I looked forward to that every year. Like really, really great reviews. The problem became, though, as he got bigger, there was a what do I want to say? It was like he couldn't keep up with the content, and what he ended up doing, and this is actually very controversial with him, especially from like long-term fans, is he hired a publishing company to help him create content. And when he did that, all of his content became a little more polished, but also a little more streamlined and bland. And you could tell that he wasn't really doing like the full episodes himself. He was having like his writers write them, and then like the production guys from this publishing company were like kind of putting themselves into the videos more, and it kind of lost that personal touch that it used to have. And the series like really went it became bland. And then there was like a lot of controversy where like one of the writers was plagiarizing review articles from other reviewers and other websites and whatnot, and ended up they got called out on it. And he had to like issue public apologies, like, I'm so sorry, like I didn't know that was that. But at that point you were already telling that he's not really, because he's like me in the sense that like I know a lot of nerdy shit about like very specific types of movies, and so he could just talk about movies like that, and so it felt very natural. But once you start outsourcing that and commercializing it and kind of like corporatizing it, it lost all that soul. So it no longer became a genuine thing to hear these reviews and whatnot, and it just became we got to get another video out every week, 2 videos a week. You know what I mean? That's rough when the creator themselves is the brand, and that's exactly what it was. And I think for a while he reached like a point where it had become so soulless that the only time you felt like you were getting the genuine content is when he would do the Monster Madness reviews, because those were the ones that he like really put a lot of time into, and he actually like he shot those himself, he did the editing himself, so like it definitely felt more personal and not just him going through the motions of the character. And but yeah, I've heard that he's since kind of made a comeback, and it's been better, but I kind of lost. I fell off the wagon. You know what I mean? Like I stopped caring once it kind of went. I don't want to say like he sold out, because that sounds like a mean thing to say, but the soul kind of got sucked out of it when he brought in those guys who were all about commercializing the product, and it became quantity over quality. But I mean, like, you want him to be successful, because I was watching him since his inception when it was just such like an early days of this underground streamer, not even streamer, but like reviewer. And I remember like showing these videos to my friends, and we're just cracking up laughing. It's just such good stuff, because it was novel at the time. He was the first one doing that. And just to see what it later became, it almost felt like a bastardization of it. I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll catch another one. I'm still subscribed to him on YouTube, but anyway, being a long-term fan and then seeing the game that they developed, it was so good, because it was such an homage to the game. And his whole thing is he would play like shitty games, like shitty old school games. And it's like, why don't you ever play any good games? But that's just part of the shtick, But yeah, like so the game that he made, the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures or whatever, was really, really good, because it was such a good homage to those old style gameplay mechanics, and was so self-referential and like fourth wall breaking. It was really good, and mechanically was a really good old school style platformer game. It was really challenging, and you're gonna die a lot and whatnot, but like, again, it felt like anytime you die, it's not because the game cheated you, it's because you didn't do a good enough job. You were too slow on your reflexes, or you didn't hit the jump right, or you missed shooting the enemy. But yeah, check it out if you have. I think I got them on both of them on sale. They did 2 of them. The first one I think was better.
Awesome.
But I think I got them on sale on Steam, like as a bundle for like $6, I think, last time. Oh, also, Ghost, how is work?
Cool.
You're back at work now, huh? How is it?
Awesome.
Congratulations again. I'm glad that they were able to sort that out. Oh, you're not? I thought... Oh, okay. We can talk later about that if you want. Technically, I'm lined up to... Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you had already started back. They just haven't spoken to you about it yet. Oh, okay. They haven't paid me since August. Jeez. That's rough. That is very rough. We were getting real close to a government shutdown because I work for the government. There was talks going around about furloughs, and they're like, okay, here's what's going to happen if the government shuts down. Like, you know, we would still get paid, but it would be like way later. And that's just kind of scary because when you depend on things, on money on your job for livelihood, like when you don't have that, that's a very scary thing. In fact, when I worked in the equipment room at the film school, that was the reason I left that job, was because it happened 2 years in a row, but it was we're getting close to the end of summer, and then I get a call saying like, hey, we're out of funding, don't come in on Monday. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? They're like, sorry, like we didn't get funding approved for your position. So, and my position at the time wasn't on the books the way it is now. It was kind of a discretionary fund that like the dean would just kind of approve. So I was a temporary part-time employee. So technically they would hire me and fire me every semester. And then the summers too. And for a while, the first, year of that, it wasn't so bad because like there was never any question of funding. But then after like that last time when they're like, oh, well, funding's a little tight and we're cutting back and blah, blah, blah. We don't know if we're going to have funding for you. And so I'm like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? So for about a month, about a month and a half, I think, I was on unemployment and, looking for other jobs. And then by the time the semester starts and they're like, hey, we got funding approved. Do you want to come back to work? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come back. And so I didn't have anything else at the time. So I went back to work, and then same deal. The end of that next year is the same thing. Hey, we're out of funding. Don't come in on Monday. And it got so frustrating. And I'm like, I can't live like this. And like, you don't realize how much a crappy job means to you until you don't have it anymore. And it's just like, fuck. Like, what am I gonna do? But yeah, so that sucks. And so I definitely feel you on that. Literally, that's the conversation we had in August. We'll let you know when we can pay you again. This isn't a sustainable way of life. Exactly. Like, this is people's livelihoods. And like, I get it that like, oh, well, they never had that position as a full-time position back then. And so it's always been kind of that. But as the department grew, that position didn't grow with it in terms of funding, and so it just kind of got held behind. And I'm glad now that they were able to sort that out and get funding for it, and Nate's able to do that full time. But yeah, that was kind of the last straw for me. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep doing this. It's like an abusive relationship, like you're just breaking up and then getting back together. You know what I mean? Like, because of some bullshit. Yes, damn. And there are people in the field who are super chill, like, yeah, don't worry, just take the 2 months and chill, and then it'll probably be back, or we get to like, no, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, but we don't all have that kind of luxury that we can just do that. Living paycheck to paycheck. When you don't get that paycheck, shit gets real, and you start like, fuck, what can I do to, and I'm not going to say like numbers wise, but like that job at the time wasn't paying much. It was, like I said, it was a temporary part-time position. Although I put in 30 plus hours all the time because that job really needed it. They would only pay me for 20. So if I put more than 20 hours on my time card, I'd get in trouble. I'm like, but I had to come in and do this, and we had these big projects or whatever, and I had to like do it. But that's when I had to get really creative with like support staff. That's when I started like working out practicum credit for students who would work in the equipment room with me, because for a while I was given budget for 2 work study students, but then that budget dried up. So then it was just me, and I'm like, okay, well then we can't be open because If you're only going to pay me 20 hours, I can't be here all the time. How the fuck am I supposed to hit that? And so, yeah, so that's when we started offering practicum credit just to kind of like fix the gaps, fill the gaps of time. And even then we were like scheduling people thin. That was definitely a big challenge. Yeah, that job was way demanding. But, you know, I think in the end, like, I don't regret it or anything. It's what kind of got me back into the school swing of things and, you know, made me go back and finish my degree. And, you know, I made good friends and contacts and stuff like that. So it was definitely important, but man, that job was not what it needed to be. And it was very frustrating dealing with that. And I remember even like trying to do stuff to try to like get them to see the value in that position. So I started filming training videos and, you know, I had to overhaul the whole like checkout system and like doing all this like innovation, right? Just for them to see like, oh, okay, this guy's really doing something. We should take care of him. Nah. With those fucking hours, yeah, it was definitely rough. This is just like the tedious nature of me. I have to hit every skull. No skull left behind. How the fuck do I... Oh my god. There's probably a way I could have done that without taking damage, but it'd be super neat if we could get the same loyalty back from employers that they ask from us. Dude, totally true. And so after that job, I ended up working for a startup advertising and media production company, right? And for a while I was like, oh, this is great, you know, I'm getting lots of hours, it's you know, I'm making more money and blah blah blah. But the thing about startups is that then you start getting into that whole we're a family here, and then the owner's like involved in the business, and he's like, well, I'm not taking home a paycheck sometimes and blah blah blah. And it's like what really started bothering me about that job was that you know, they'd go through this whole like, we're all really sacrificing right now, we're all trying to so there was a point where they were hurting for funding, right? And so they're like, okay, well, what can we do? And there was one or two employees in that company that, you know, for lack of a better term, weren't pulling their weight. Like they were not good, they were always late, you know, things like that. Like their work wasn't good, and they didn't want to let anybody go. So what their solution was to cut everybody to part-time so they wouldn't have to lay anybody off. And I very, very much disagreed with that. I'm like, this is bullshit, because those of us who are busting our asses for this company and, you know, picking up everybody else's workloads are now being punished for that because you don't want to address a problem employee. You don't want to correct a problem employee. I think I know which startup. I actually did a couple of startups that were kind of similar to that, but one was definitely worse than the other. And then it starts. There was a situation where we'd have to like go out of town to shoot like a music video or do like a production or something, and so we'd have to travel, right? And we'd stay the night out there and whatnot. And he was like, okay, well, let's not put this on your timesheet. Let me just pay you like a day rate, so that, because if you end up putting in overtime, then it's gonna kill us. And I'm like, first off, if you don't want us to report overtime, don't make us work overtime hours. That doesn't mean that you get a freebie now because we've hit our hour cap or quota. And then I'm like, okay, so you want to pay me my day rate? You can't afford my day rate. If this was an actual like production where I was freelancing, my day rate you wouldn't be able to match. But it's no less than I would have deserved, you know, for that kind of work. So again, it's just one of those things. They're like, oh, this is fucking stupid. And then they got real petty after a while, and it was they started making people sign contracts and stuff. So I was doing my own personal project. I directed a music video on the side, and I had requested time off. Now here's the thing: we never got paid time off there. So if you requested days off, you just weren't getting paid, right? And they would give us holidays, meaning like, hey, we're gonna close down the shop for this day. But I'm like, well, that just means that we don't get a paycheck around Christmas time. So like, I want to come in and work. We're not getting like holiday hours. That's not time off. It's just like, it's like a furlough. And so I had requested time off to direct this music video, and you know, it was a side project. It was my own thing, and so they found out about it. And in my time request off, I said I was going to do a personal project. So they found out about it because they saw me like posting casting notices and whatnot, and they got really upset with me. And they're like, this isn't cool. You should have done this through us. And I'm like, well, it's such a small budget that like I couldn't afford to bring it through the company. Like that wouldn't. And also like the people who were working there, I don't think would have been people I would have hired if I was freelancing my own film crew. So it's like, why do I have to like make up positions for them just to satisfy your need for me wanting to bring the project through them? So it didn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, we had such a shoestring budget on that. We made that whole video for like $5,000. And anyway, so they got real upset with me, and they were like, this is bullshit. We should fire you for that. And I was like, fuck you. When I signed in on this company, you had told me that I was able to do my side work on the side as long as it didn't compete with the company. And I'm like, cool, that's a total like non-compete, right? So that, and I wasn't doing that. This was something completely different. We didn't do that kind of work in that company. And they were like, well, we could do it if somebody hired us to do it. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. So after that, what they ended up doing was having all the employees sign these non-competes that were incredibly overreaching. Basically, it said that you couldn't do video work of any kind anywhere in the country for a duration of 1 year after severance of employment. And I was like, no, fuck you. I'm not signing that. That is such a bullshit contract. Like it holds no legal bearing. And you can't take away somebody's right to earn a living and if they're not employed with you, who the fuck cares? They're not taking your company secrets or your assets or anything. Like, I wouldn't be doing that. It's not like I would be stealing their customers because I had inside knowledge. If I'm stealing their customers, it's because their customers came to me because I'm offering something that they don't. I don't know where the fuck I'm going in this game. But, yeah, so it was just like really crazy overarching stuff. And they kind of like pressured everybody who was already employed to signing those new non-competes. But I didn't want to do it. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. We shouldn't have to do this. If we're the family that you're saying that we are, you don't have your family sign this kind of bullshit. They wanted to have this shared impression of like, it's everybody's company. We're all part of this. You know, we all succeed together. But they're not getting fired if they're not doing their job right. They're not having to have these kind of non-competes. So you want to give me ownership responsibilities, give me a part of the company. You know, that was my argument. Like, you want me to act like I'm an investor, then I am entitled to investor portion of this company. not to mention I was using all of my equipment, all of my stuff. Like, anyway, that was a kind of a bad experience. I'm glad that I got out of there, and honestly, it's just I know they didn't mean to be doing that, or to be causing harm. They just didn't know any better. And when they brought me in, it was for my experience that they wanted to bring in like a business sense. Like I was like, hey, maybe you guys should be having your customers sign contracts. And they're like, well, we don't want to do that because that's... All right. Okay, well, then don't blame me when their payments come in late or whatnot, or like their prices, they were charging too little for the work that we were doing for them. Like some of those customers were getting such good deals. And then it's the whole like, well, sometimes you gotta, give them a break so that you can get future jobs tomorrow. I'm like, no, that's not how that works, because what ends up happening is you end up selling yourself short, and those customers don't come and get you back on the next one. They want that same discount that they got before. And you get known as the people who are cheap. You don't cost them much. And it's my experience that doing like advertising and marketing for mom and pop businesses, it's always way more work than it needs to be, because those owners are so personally invested in their brand and in their product that they micromanage the shit out of everything. They want a ton of revisions. They never want to pay for it. They're so stingy about their pricing. It's such a fucking crapshoot. And I remember I had brought in a customer from a car dealership. They wanted to do like a ad campaign, and they wanted some local media to do it. And so they had told me, man, this guy's kind of an asshole. He's kind of mean and blah, blah, blah. I loved that dude, because this guy was an actual marketing director. He came from a background of like, he knew how to do professional corporate marketing. He didn't know how to do the creative side of it, and that's where we got brought in. But like, he's the first customer or client that we had that like, he gave me a storyboard of what he wanted it to look like. He was very hands off. He's like, I trust that you guys know what you're doing. And I remember when I first gave him the invoice, he's like, you're not charging enough for this. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, if I take this to corporate, they're not going to accept it because they're going to think that it's too cheap and it's not going to be good quality. You need to be charging for the quality that you guys do. And I said, okay. So I basically doubled the estimate, and he's like, cool, this is better. He said keep it under a certain amount, because then we don't have to put it to a bid. So you don't have to compete for the contract. And so anyway, we did it. We were very, very efficient in our time on it. Like to the T, like I budget managed the shit out of that project. And it was very straightforward. And, for the voiceover from it, we hired a local radio host, like a radio station DJ, and they did the voiceover for it. So everything was like perfect, and they followed the script. There were no revisions on it. There were just like small notes, like, hey, the font on this is a little weird. Can we make it a little bigger, kind of thing? Or the color of this kind of looks weird. Those were the notes that we got. So like, we literally did 2 cuts of it, and that was it, locked, and we were done. And it was just funny that with this company, they thought, yeah, we don't want to do that kind of work because it's not as glamorous, just cool. I was like, fuck no, I want to do that work all day long. Customers who let you do the work that you're trying to do and don't try to like stand over your shoulder while you're doing it, like, man, those are the best customers. And they had the money for it too. Like they don't scoff at the prices. They're like, yeah, they expect it to be, they have a marketing budget, they need to spend it, so like they want to get their money's worth. They're not trying to save a buck. Yeah, those professionals were the best. Sorry, I've been going off on like a really long tangent, but those were definitely the dark days, I think, and that just led me to be very disheartened with that company. And I remember when when I got my job that I have now, well, for the contractor, before I got the job for the government, it's the same place though, and I went to go give them my 2 weeks notice. I talked to the guy and I was like, hey, listen, you know, I've made this offer to go work out there. They're going to be paying me, you know, almost 3 times more than what I'm making here, and it's something I think is going to be a good career move for me. So, like, you know, I appreciate you guys giving me a chance out here to work with you, but I think, you know, this is going to be the right move for me. And he appreciated that. He at least understood me coming to him, you know, like as a professional and not being like shady or anything, but telling him like, you know, I can give you 3 weeks, but then, you know, I'm gonna be gone. But when I told the other owner, she literally said, well, I knew you were selfish and you were just in it for yourself, and that this day was going to be coming. And I was like, fuck you. I don't owe you shit. But yeah, she got like very like personally offended by me saying I'm leaving. I'm like, cool. Well, then I can tell that you weren't about me or my development. You were about getting work from me for cheap. So fuck you. Yeah, she took it very personally. And then, you know, I heard later from some of the other employees when I saw them later, like, yeah, she kind of trashed you after you left. I'm like, all right, well, I don't care. But it just goes to show, like, you really shouldn't be personally invested in your company, because if that's what you're trying to do, you're only setting yourself up for failure, because you're only going to be disappointed in yourself at the end of the day. You're never going to meet the standard that you're trying to hit, and ultimately you drive yourself crazy doing it. So you have to distance yourself from your brand, from your product, from whatever it is, and think of it in an objective way. You know, this is business. This is not personal. And that is a very true thing. Like, you can't let those kind of feelings get in the way of business, because it's going to cloud your judgment and you're not going to think of things objectively.
Awesome.
You put on your rose-colored glasses and everything is, oh, this is the greatest thing we've ever done. And I'm like, okay, give me a real budget and then we'll see what we could do. Sounds like you made a very healthy choice. Oh, absolutely. I do not look back on that. My career now, I think, is in such a, I mean, even though I struggle at work right now, but I'm at least, my work is being seen and appreciated in a way that there's no jokes about it. Like, it's not like I don't feel like I'm getting taken advantage of, or that I'm being cheapened out, because everything is very structured. Everything is, I mean, I work for the government, so like everything is very mandated, and there's HR and there's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like, well, we're all just kind of sucking it up now because of this, you know? So that structure is somewhere where I've really thrived, I think. Pay you in breakfast food. You know what? You joke, but there were more than one occasion where after like a grueling, you know, work week, they just like brought in some donuts. You know what I mean? Like, thanks, guys. It's the pizza party, you know, method of employee recognition. It's like, you need to get this straight. We are not friends. We could be friends, but you are my employer. I am your employee. I am here because you pay me to be here. And while I am here, I'm going to do the best work that I can. Like, there's no scratch about that. Like, I'm not a lazy employee, but like, I am here because you pay me to be here. This is our agreement. I do the work, you pay me for the work. If one of those things is failing, it needs to be corrected. Whether it's I'm doing work and I'm not getting paid, or I'm not doing the work and you're paying me, I'm not doing the work that you're paying me for. But once one of those things comes out of balance, You have to evaluate your workplace, because is this a place that I need to stress over and, you know, kill myself over if they're not paying me? You will be surprised at the amount of bullshit you will put up with if they're paying you well.
Cool.
Yeah, it was definitely that kind of office. Well, and then the other thing was like, they wanted to be very artsy-fartsy, and like, we're the cool creative company, right? And I'm like, okay, that's cool, like, to have that identity, but you attract a certain clientele like that. You're gonna get people who are trying to save a buck, or, you know, they want to do things in a very non-professional kind of way, which is okay if that's the route that you want to do. But when we're having meetings about, oh, we need to start bringing in bigger corporate clients and, you know, companies that have actual marketing budgets and blah, 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 well, they're not going to take you seriously if they think you're just a bunch of kids. So, like, one of the things that I was pushing for was, you know, we should probably have a dress code here at work. If people are coming in and we're just in shorts and a t-shirt, that doesn't look professional. And do professional corporate clients want to spend their money on us if they think that we're just a bunch of students? That's a real thing. Now, I'm not saying we should be on suit and tie, but like business casual, and even that was like a stretch to ask for. Like, I remember bringing this up in meetings, and people were like, no, that's not our identity. Okay, well then don't complain about not getting those big professional customers. Yeah, I worked at that kind of office. Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, the world is filled with those kind of ambitious creative types, right? Like people who, like, they've got an idea, but they don't have the business knowledge or the follow through to execute it. And that's what ends up doing them all in, and ones that don't last. That's why. That's exactly why. They've got one portion of it. Maybe they do some really good creative stuff, but like, they don't have the business side of things. You know, the first startup that I worked with, he was very anti-contract. He's like, you know what? I'm a gentleman, and we just shake hands. We have a gentleman's agreement. And I'm like, cool. Well, that's why we never have our customers pay after we deliver their products. And then he was just hiring dudes with no experience, just because they went to the same church as him. And he's like, no, this guy's a hustler. I get it. But then, like, they wouldn't show up for work, or, you know, things like that. And I'm like, cool. If you just go around looking for hustlers, you're eventually going to get hustled. And
Cool.
And again, it's that same mentality of like, we want you to do your best, and if you do your best, then, you know, you're gonna go far. But like, we're not gonna support you to do that. Fuck, that was tough. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a major tangent. How's everybody doing? Have you guys had bullshit jobs? I'm sure everybody has. I will say one of the like the easiest jobs I did was in that summer I was unemployed. I worked for my dad doing landscape. So my dad does landscaping and like yard maintenance, and it was kind of great doing that for a while, because it's a job that, while physically demanding, was not mentally demanding in the slightest. So it was refreshing to like have a job where you don't have to make any decisions, you don't have to explain to anybody, or, you know, do anything like that, or fight for your own payment or advocacy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you show up, you cut the weeds, you blow off the sidewalk. Like, that's how it works. It's easy. And that's when I got into to audiobooks. Like, I'd basically just turn off my brain, listen to an audiobook, and you know, zone out cutting weeds and stuff like that. And it was good. And I was making more like that than I was at some of those other jobs. And sometimes we'd only work half days because it would be so hot that, like, you know, we'd start really early in the morning. But once the sun came out and it got too hot, it's like, no, we can't work anymore. It's too fucking hot. So the challenge was, we're going to hit, you know, 8 houses today within like 4 hours. So we got to like knock them all out. But yeah, that was kind of cool. I understand why my dad does that. He had worked as a manager at a Village Inn for 34 years or something. And they had laid him off, and so that's when he was doing yards on the side, like on his days off, which is crazy. My dad is always working, but he decided to just, you know, start his own business and do that for himself, and he loves it, and he makes way more than he ever did working at that restaurant where they don't appreciate you, you know. Damn it, it's freaking bad out these. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it gets. Yeah, my dad. My dad was always working. That was his thing. And I think I get a lot of my work ethic from my dad. Like I have, since I was 15, I've had a job. I've always been working. It's just one of those things that, like, I feel like you have to. And then, you know, now as I'm older, like, yeah, I have responsibilities. You know, I got a family to provide for. These kitties ain't cheap, and so, you know, I can't not be working. Oh, I just walked into the fireplace. I've actually never made it to this level. This is totally new. I never got here as a kid, so this is interesting. I could only have dreamed of this level. I could only see it in the demo, you know, like the playthrough. What's it called? Like the teaser, whatever. When you leave the game running for a while and it starts showing you like the preview levels. I forgot what it's called. But no, this is a fun game. I like it. It's definitely easier than Splatterhouse was. That one was tough. I don't remember either, but it's always felt like it's such a far off dream, right? Like it's just like reaching the stuff they show you in the previews. Yeah, I know in like arcades they would call it attract mode. It's meant to show you like glimpses of levels and stuff that you never really see because you're like, oh man, how do I get there? Or like you look at the back of the case and then you see like levels. They're like, oh man, look at this. Look, there's a water level to entice you to spend your delicious quarters. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, but I feel like there was something important here because, like, what am I supposed to do with this chair? I can bounce on it. They sustain us. So that Ninja Turtles game that I was telling you about earlier, there was a preview on one of the screenshots on the back of the case of a boss fight that wasn't in the actual game. And I remember as a kid thinking, like, where the fuck is that level? It must be... I don't know what the deal is with these fans. I haven't figured them out yet. Like, I can't jump on them. Yeah, I can't jump on them, so I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with them. You could never get to that level. And it wasn't like a real level. And it was a boss from a different part in the game. And I'm like, oh, shoot, you gotta fight him again? So I was, like, always speculating, like, where the fuck is this hidden boss? What am I doing wrong? Later found out that it was just like an early development stage screenshot that they used whenever they sent it to the publishing, you know, like the printers, I guess. But yeah, I remember as a kid, like, that was eating me up inside because I didn't know where the fuck that level was, and I always thought I was missing something, like I was doing something wrong. Maybe I can't hit this puppy here. I know, hella rude. I was so disappointed. But it's just like one of those things, you know, it keeps you up. And you're like, man, whatever. That level, I always thought that there was something there.
Feed that cat! Feed that
doing, Syrup? Thank you for that sub. Let's feed this cat real quick in your honor. Oh, he was sleeping. You sleeping? Come on. Okay, you can go back to sleep. Why don't you sit with your brother? You only come around when you want treats. What is up? How you doing, sir? What's new? How are things? I am off until Tuesday, so I am going to enjoy this weekend. Hello, darling. Darling, even. So tonight I'm playing a game called Monster Bash, which was an old PC game that was like a spooky homage to horror games of the past. And I think that's what I'm going to do this month on streams. Is when I'm doing gaming streams, we're gonna do a lot of these old school retro horror games. But like a lot of these old school retro horror games, there's a lot of these like where the fuck do I go moments in them. So I don't know what I'm supposed to go. Oh, maybe I should just press the hints button. Light bulbs are very fragile. If the stairs collapse, try another way. You can stop some of the ceiling fans. You can stop some of the ceiling fans. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen or turn off the stove. Did you try climbing the stove pipes? You can make a super jump by pressing jump before you bounce on the chair. How would Santa Claus deliver presents to his house? There is a secret area. Okay, well, now I know. We can stop some of the fans. How do I do it? I do not know. Oh, you know what? I think I see. Yep. Damn it. Okay. This whole fucking time I could have done that. Can we get a shout out going for Syrup, pretty please? Thanks for the spooky ookie sub, of course. Ghost was happy to provide. Ooh, and let's get a shout out for Magnus too. We're doing good, Magnus. How you doing? Magnus, have you ever heard of this game?
This is very sad, but also I just have to go and grab that arm apparently.
Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Feed that cat! Give him the food!
Bliss, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bliss, for that sub. Let me feed these cats in your honor.
If you're in a position where you can go ahead and fist somebody with diamonds, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Gotta give them their what for. Watch as I fist this plant. It didn't know it was coming.
Oh, Symphony of the Night. Nice. I never had that game as a kid, and because I was like 2D, lame, but not realizing that it was like one of the best games for the PS1. All right, listen up for that crunch. Let's feed these cats. We want a treat. Come here. Did you not eat it? Did Archie just eat it? Thank you so much, Bliss. How are you doing? How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. I mean, we haven't been streaming in a while, but, you know, we're back from our hiatus, so so my allergies have been really bad, and when my allergies get bad, my asthma gets bad. So it's yeah. Knox tore his ACL about 2 weeks ago now, and I had to do an emergency 10-hour stream to raise funds, but we funded his vet bills. Holy cow. Overstressed myself in the process. Oh, I wish I would have known about that. I would have definitely contributed to that. Man, well, I hope they're doing better. Poor babies. And Mello winning a bingo game. Give me those crunches. Yes. Hype train. I forgot about our whole hype train that we have the music playing. But yeah, this game that I'm playing tonight is a game called Monster Bash. It was released in 1992 for DOS PCs. And I remember playing it as a kid, but they've released an HD remaster of it. And it's kind of just as fun as I remember it being. It's kind of a cute little game where we're playing a little boy in his pajamas as he goes around trying to save his pet dog from like the ghoul master, and along the way save all the neighborhood pets as well that are all trapped in cages. And it's definitely one of those old school challenging PC platformers, but there's a lot of moments in the game where you're just like, I don't know where the fuck to go, I don't know how to get around here, and that's definitely the most frustrating part of the game, because like I got stuck here for a while. Don't worry, he's on the road to recovery, and we hit his vet bill within 24 hours. I just can't let myself get super stressed anymore. Yeah. You know what? Managing stress is one of the hardest things to do. I was actually talking to my doctor about that, and they're like, you should try being less stressed out. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. I wish I could do that. That's not something that I could just not do. But make sure you spend some time for yourself. Do some things that you like. When you said the name of the game, 100% I did play it. Earlier I was playing Splatterhouse, which is a really cool arcade platformer game where you play as a totally not ripoff of Jason Voorhees. Apogee, yes, exactly. Oh man, I love when you come in here because you always know all the good trivia. There was a really great like little documentary I was talking about earlier where they talked about like the Apogee story and how, you know, they kind of cut their teeth doing a lot of platformer games on PC at a time when people said you can't do platforms on PC. It's too advanced. You can't do scrolling. And their lead developer, I forgot what his name was. He developed a way to do side scrolling on a PC at a time when it couldn't be done. And it like kind of revolutionized and kickstarted gaming in the PC era in the 90s.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Oh my goodness. So many bits. Is that something you can just try? What can I try? Yeah, back in 2018, I want to say. Exactly. I think that's when they came out with that remaster. Oh yeah, not being stressed out. Exactly. Leap of faith. Okay, I made it. But yeah, they did all the Commander Keen games and the Duke Nukem 1 and 2 games, which were side-scroller platforms, very similar to this, and hit it big when they made Duke Nukem 3D. Like that's the game that like put them on the map. But they were also very revolutionary from a marketing perspective because they pioneered what was called at the time shareware. And what shareware was, those that remember the early days of PC gaming, was you could get for free or for cheap a demo version of the game, and you were encouraged to share it with your friends. Give it to your friend, let them play the game, or you could even download it from their service for free. You get it for free. And the only thing was it only had 1 or 2 levels, and if you wanted to play the rest of the game, you had to mail in to buy the rest of the game. And that was a business model that was new at the time, and now seems very standard practice. You know, playing a demo of a game before you download it. But then it was very new, and so it allowed them to freely distribute their own games independently. Like they literally had a makeshift mailing station in the back of their offices where they would mail out these games to people who would purchase them. But yeah, it's very interesting. I was saying Splatterhouse is a game I know super well. Oh, nice. I got pretty far. I got a little frustrated and I had to stop. But I've only beaten it like once or twice. Definitely a challenging game. The audio command for my Ko-Fi is actually from the Splatterhouse remake, and I have a statue of the remake's game at. I never played the remake. Was it cool? It was on PS3, right? You're getting hella achievements. Are you getting close to the end? I don't know. I've never been this far in this game, so this is all new to me. We're reliving this. We're living this in the moment. Yep, they blew business out of the water with shareware. And I remember that was the thing is, you know, back in the day, what you used to have to do if you were a development team is you would have to find a distributor to distribute your game, right? But by doing their shareware model, they actually were able to distribute their own games independently, and they didn't have to go through big party publishers, and they were a truly independent gaming company. And then after a while, then they moved into publishing themselves. So developers would develop games, they would purchase the rights to those games and publish them through their shareware service, and they became the big stick. Which is really cool. And I remember playing a lot of games. My friend's dad was an architect, so they always had like really powerful computers in their house, and I was super jealous because like they always had like 3 or 4 computers in their house, and they were always like the most like hardcore badass powerful machines. And they were the first. He was the first kid I ever knew that had high-speed internet. Because at the time I was using a 26K dial-up modem. It was so fucking slow. But I remember he had, I think it was like, it must have been like satellite internet or something. But I remember like him clicking a web page and it almost instantly loading, and me being like, oh my god, this is incredible. Yeah, and I loved it. Others found it hyper hard and complained, but I felt like a nice balance of the old difficulty with modern God of War style combat. Also, the mask and the character Rick converse the whole time, and the mask is voiced by Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings, the comedian? Wait, there's a comedian named Jim Cummings, right? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But yeah. There's definitely a lot of nostalgia for me in the early days of PC gaming. The voice actor known for Darkwing Duck and Tigger. Oh, okay, that guy. Yes, I know who that is. Yeah, like some of those early games I used to play on PC were this, of course, Command and Conquer. I remember I used to play the shit out of that game. And then, of course, Doom, Duke Nukem. Like those were the games that like definitely like changed my perspective on gaming. And then I used to have, I actually have it on Molly's computer still, but it's the Star Trek 25th anniversary game. It's like a point and click adventure game where the original cast came by and like reprised their roles to do the voice acting for the game. Super cool game. And then of course that Ninja Turtles game. Yeah, now imagine him telling you to disembowel something. That sounds awesome. I want to check it out. I remember it like not reviewing very well, but I don't remember why. Like what the reasons for the game not getting like super high scores was. Ah, damn it! I forgot a pet. Fuck. See, that's the thing about this game. If you miss a pet, you got to go all the way back and find it. Like, I wish it would just let me progress with just not rescuing one of the pets. It was the combat and the difficulty because it was hard at first. That makes sense. And, like, I think it's okay to have difficult games. But I do think that you should have at least maybe like a difficulty slider or something. Because it can, yeah, I totally get it. You can turn a lot of gamers off by having a game just kind of unbearably hard, unplayably hard. Fuck. It discourages you from wanting to play it. Okay, well, now that I know that the fans can be shot, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do on this other one. But yeah, man, shareware games, that was always the thing. I remember like getting some of them. And like thinking they were, and you really, because you're too cheap to buy the full version, you end up just playing that same first level like indefinitely. Okay, I think there was another one over here, right? Okay, yes, that's the last pet I need to get. Come on. But yeah, so the whole month of October, Magnus, I think I'm gonna do, every time I do a gaming stream, I'm going to do a retro horror game. So if you have any recommendations, I would definitely love to hear them. I might do some NES games next time. And then I think on Sundays streams, you know, once Molly's ready to stream again, we're gonna start doing movie conversation nights. So we're gonna, you know, pick like a horror movie of the week that we're gonna talk about, and they're gonna strictly be like kind of classic or 80s horror movies or campy horror movies. You know, I don't want to watch like a new horror movie and talk about that. I feel like that's a little lame. Not that, you know, those movies are bad or anything, or that people shouldn't like them. It's just, it's not my taste in horror movies. Is a lot of modern horror I'm not like a huge fan of. So I also know more about like 80s and 90s horror movies than anything else. And yeah, my early PC games were Doom, Blood, Gizmos and Gadgets. I don't remember that one. Oregon Trail, and all come to mind. I mean, technically same. I'm in the middle of Doom 3 for 2004 after today. Yeah, I never played the Doom 3 ones. I remember playing Doom 2 and thinking it was insane. I was like, this is the most shocking game I've ever played in my life. Which is so funny because like it's so tame by like today's standards, but at the time it was really shocking. And I actually think Duke Nukem was more controversial because it had like nudity and other stuff like that. Like it wasn't just blood and gore, it was sexuality too. God, how do I get in there? Son of a bitch. Maybe I'm not supposed to get in this way. Yeah, maybe I'm not supposed to get in this way. Oh, you know what? Maybe I don't jump. Maybe I just send my rocks down in there. Maybe not. It doesn't look like I'm getting close to it, huh? Okay, maybe there's another way in there. No, there's not. We have to come in from the top. I actually recorded a bunch of conversations about those kind of horrors. Just waiting for the actor's strike to end since I've done some voice work and don't want to risk the digital packet line. Yep. Don't cross the digital picket line. Absolutely, dude. Good for you. Solidarity. This is brutal. I know, right? This must be frustrating to watch. Me trying to like jump inside of this little... Oh my god. This has to be the way in there, right? Okay, maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something up here that I'm missing. But that's the only way into that little corridor. So what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think I have to get in that way. Oh my god. I swear I'm doing it, guys. I'm fucking doing it. You see the answer. Oh my gosh. Am I doing it wrong?
Whoa.
And it's a tricky one. Okay. I've been meaning to ask, what is it? Oh yeah, the knife is a compass. It shows you where a pet is, or the exit if you've gotten all of them. If you collected all of them. Magnus, I'm all ears. I know it says no backseating, but at this point, I don't know what to do. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I bounce it off of this wall here. Angle the shot and stand on the right of the ladder. Oh, god damn it. Wow, that was definitely the easier solution. Wow. Yes, thank you, Magnus. I love that, like, my mind instantly went to, like, the hardest possible scenario there. Like, oh, this has got to be the way to do it. Oh, yeah. Guess I'm in the kitchen now. And then the freaking teeth. You know what game I should play next time? Did you ever play Zombies Ate My Neighbors? I used to love that game. That would be a fun game to play. That's a very campy horror old school game. Oh, I can climb these. Okay, cool. Listen, 15 years of physical therapy, angles are like something, angles and like are something I'm good at eyeballing. Yeah, I mean, that definitely does it.
Awesome.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors and Ghoul Patrol. I never played Ghoul Patrol. I think I have it on the emulator, but I've never actually played it. That's the sequel, right? Like the kind of quasi-sequel. I know they changed a lot about the gameplay up. There was a game on my Steam wish list called Demons Ate My Neighbors that's supposed to be... It says coming out soon, but it's supposed to be kind of like a spiritual successor to that series. I definitely used to love that game. That's a hard game. I never beat that one. Okay. Well, shit. Now I'm in another one of those fucking spots where I'm like, where do I go? Maybe I don't go up there. It looks like I can jump on those platforms, but it's just like just out of reach. And then I hit my head here, so I can't jump across. Oh, there we go. I did it, guys. Yep, I follow the chat with the dev on Twitter. Oh, cool. I've got like 3 indie horrors I'm watching keenly. Yeah, ask next time you talk to him. Ask him. Tell him I'm asking them when they're going to release the game because I'm waiting for it. I done it. I done it. Oh, fuck. If I die right here, oh my gosh. And seriously, the layout of this map made zero fucking sense. I can see why this game probably wasn't more popular. The level design is a little bit random, and it's really easy to get lost. See, like, where was that? I don't know how to get over there. There's really no clear direction in this game. You're just kind of going everywhere. And that's part of the challenge, I guess. As the angry video game nerd would say, it's another one of those where the fuck do I go kind of games. Demons Ate My Neighbors and Transylvanian Adventure of Simon Quest and Pine Barren Camp Massacre. I have not heard of those other ones, but I definitely will check them out. I love a good retro style game. That's actually why I've been really enjoying a lot of those puppet combo games. That developer, they make games kind of like the PS1 era of 3D gaming, and they're really, really cool. I dig them. They're definitely my style. I think this is the way out, right? I remember coming upstairs at some point. Yeah, now we're back here. The second one is a vein of Castlevania 2. The third one is inspired by NES Friday the 13th. Ooh. I tried playing that game on stream, and it was so freaking hard. I didn't know what the hell to do. Yeah, that was challenging. I only looted 74% of the... I spent 32 minutes on this level. Good lord. And the part time was 11 and a half minutes. All right. I think that is a good stopping point. What do you guys think? Yeah, this was fun. This was fun. I really missed streaming. I'm glad that I was able to stream tonight. It was definitely something, like I said, I've been missing for a lot of reasons. I think a lot of it, like I said, was I've been missing that social interaction, and you know, whether you guys know it or not, you are definitely an emotional support for me, and so I really appreciate you all coming out tonight and hanging out with me. I was half afraid that like everybody would have forgotten about us. And so I was worried that I'd go live tonight and nobody would be here. And also I was worried that like I didn't know what to do. Like I forgot how to stream because it's been a month and a half. So I really appreciate you all hanging out tonight, and it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely hoping to be more consistent with streaming now. We may just do 2 days a week. So Sundays and Thursdays. I think Sundays are going to be our chatting days where we're going to talk about movies. We're going to maybe show some movie clips, you know, kind of deep dive into some of our favorite horror movies, especially for the month of October. We're going to hit that pretty hard. And then Thursdays will be kind of my gaming stream where we're going to do some old school games. Tonight we played some Splatterhouse and some Monster Bash. So this will be a lot of fun. That game goes uber hard from a cakewalk to you know what, when you know what to do. Oh, okay. Well, shit. Well, that's the thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand the mechanics. If you want a cool classic inspired horror, check out Infernax. If you haven't, okay, I'll add that to the list. Glad to see you back. Well, thank you, Syrup. I'm glad, and I've been checking out your streams a lot lately too. In fact, I was actually talking earlier about how like this idea of us doing just chatting for stuff. I feel inspired by you in a sense, and I mentioned this earlier about how like some of like the funnest parts of your streams is when you'll spend 2 hours just chatting before you've even gotten into the game. And I feel like the moments when we've had that in our stream have been some of our funnest moments too. So like I want to try to like leverage that kind of moment. So this talking about movies and reviews and stuff is going to be less about gaming and more about talking and just kind of deep diving into those kind of things. So that's what we're going to try to recreate. But anyway, let's see who do I have on right now. Oh, let's go send it to speaking of just chatting, we're going to send it to Deathsthetics. We haven't rated her in a while. We haven't rated anybody in a while, but let's go say what's up. But yeah, I appreciate you guys again for hanging out with me. It really means a lot, and I hope to be doing this more consistently because I frankly have missed it a lot. Those are my favorite streams, both for myself and for others, but it does make it difficult to actually finish a game sometimes. You know what? It's not about finishing. You finish the game on your off times. Do that on the weekends whenever you're not streaming. But I'm excited to see what y'all do. Well, we're excited to try some stuff out. So we'll maybe drop some hints at the next ones, and maybe you guys can guess the movie that we're going to be reviewing. Not everyone can be insane and just speak full movie reviews, but beating hardcore games. Well, yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm thinking 80s and 90s horror movies, because that's really where I know a lot about that kind of stuff. And those of you who have heard me go on my rants about Night of the Living Dead and the George Romero series and stuff, so I can like deep dive about that stuff. But now we'll actually be showing some clips, and maybe we'll have some like drinks inspired by the movies, or just some more little activities. So that'll be kind of fun to do. But yeah, but let's send the raid over to Deathsthetics. Y'all go say what's up. If you are sleepy, go to sleep, get some rest. But thank you again for hanging out. We'll catch you guys next time. So long, fuckers.
credibility. Fighting the unknown forces and secret terrors science couldn't predict.
There's a monstrous thing aboard this station from the moon. That's what killed Weber.
What kind of a monstrous thing?